Welcome to the channel if you've never been here before. This is Movie Readings, where I take entire Hollywood scripts and read them from start to finish, right here on YouTube. Sometimes these take hours to make, so it could really help me out if you dropped a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, comment below which movie reading you would like to hear next. Here's the main attraction, Transformers 2007. Enjoy. A legend appears. 1,000,000 years before the dawn of man. Sunlight begins to creep onto the screen, revealing a strange symbol, like a complex glyph. Slowly we widen to reveal it's one of many. Etched onto a metallic surface, the symbols can only have come from an alien civilization. We hear a voice, powerful, noble, though we don't know it yet. It's the voice of Optimus Prime. Our planet was destroyed by the ravages of war. A war waged between the Legion, who worship chaos, and those of us who follow freedom. As the light grows, it illuminates an immense square mass, a cube, covered by the symbols, hurtling through space. We battled for rule of a supreme power, the Energon Cube. Its origin is unknown to us, yet it bears the life force that created our race. We fought until our world was awash in death, until the very ground swallowed whole our once mighty cities, and the cube was lost to limitless stars. The cube plunges into an asteroidal grouping, and ever so slightly nicks one of the rocks and bounces in a new direction. Then, by fortune or fate, its course was altered, drawn to a planet called Earth. Reveal in the distance a familiar blue marble. The cube screams past us, rocketing towards our planet. We searched for the cube across deserts of time, hoping to find it before the Dark Legions, but as fate would have it, we were already too late. We slam to black as that ominous note crescendos. We fade to images of the Arctic Circle at twilight. Soaring over icebergs, we find a derelict sailing vessel, lilting, trapped in ice. The crew works desperately to free the ship, axes slamming. The legend appears. National Antarctic Expedition, 1897. The ship's captain moves along his men. "Put your backs into it, or we'll be chopping our way back to the States." The pack huskies start howling at the snowscape. "There's something out there." The dogs suddenly bolt off. The captain grabs his rifle and lantern. He shouts for two men to follow. Elsewhere on the ice, the dogs lead the men over the Arctic shelf, jumping from floe to floe. They finally stop, pawing at the patch of snow. Whatever it is, it's below the ice. Nothing is alive below the ice. Suddenly, a huge rift opens like tectonic plates shifting. The sailors dive to safety, but one of the dogs falls through. The captain grabs for it, but they are sucked into a 30-foot fissure. Man and dog shoot down the fissure, landing hard on something. His lantern cracks below. Kerosene fire casts flickering shadows across the ice walls. The dog whimpers. The men shout from above. Dazed, the captain gets his bearings and calls back, "I'm okay, lads." Suddenly, we pull back and find he's standing on the palm of a giant steel hand, half in, half out of the ice. A mechanical face is embedded within the ice wall, expression frozen in a scream. The captain can't believe what he's seeing. He wipes away ice to reveal a symbol on the mechanoid, the Decepticon emblem. Mesmerized, the captain pulls out a pickaxe and starts chopping away at the ice to get a better look. Whack, whack. The ice cracks, triggering something on the robot's chassis. A laser blast sears the captain's eyes. For a millisecond, he sees the same alien symbols we saw on the cube, coursing with phosphorus light. The captain screams, clutching his eyes, the dogs barking madly. The spectacles go flying and crack as they hit the floor. "Captain! Captain!" The captain, trembling on his knees, turns to us. His pupils have turned completely white. His hands scramble for the spectacles, but he realizes he is blind. Fire reflects through now cracked glasses, and something incredible is revealed in them as we push closer. Micro close. The alien code has been seared into the lens. The frame is overtaken by whiteness. At first we think it's snow, until we realize it's the desert at sunset. Sand undulating over endless dunes. An engine roars. 2 Air Force CV-22 Ospreys skim the dunes, blasting through frame. The legend appears again. Qatar, the Middle East, present day. Flying the Osprey is Sergeant William Lennox, 30s, U.S. Air Force combat controller. Family man, sense of humor, born leader. He travels with the Army's 5th Special Forces security team, returning from a tough mission. Next to him, Army Chief Warrant Officer Jorge Figuera, 20s, Dominican, by way of the Louisiana Bayou. He sings along with the reggaeton hip-hop song on the stereo. "Can we get 5 minutes without being tortured by your singing?" "Shh, don't mock my gift, bro. One day, I'll win American Idol, and you'll be wishing you knew me." "Uh-huh. Gotta pass the time somehow. 16 months of this?" "Tell me, first thing you're gonna do when you get back?" "Little taste of home, a plate of mama's hot pastales, ham, onion, garlic, and bam, some adobo spiced pork. I'm on my way to Nirvana." "And weekends, remember those?" "Surfboard on the roof, headed for turquoise water." "I heard that. Man, when I get there, I'm gonna have me a perfect day, you know what I'm saying? One of those days where everything just goes right." "What about you, Lennox? You got a perfect day?" "Getting to hold my little girl for the first time." Fig smiles with a little envy. The Osprey dips low, descending. Military base tarmac. The planes land. Lennox and Fig hop out, joining the rest of the Army team emerging from the other Osprey. We favor Sergeant First Class Donnelly, Irish American, and Staff Sergeant Epps, street tough, from East Oakland. To Donnelly, "Celtics win last night?" "Nah, man, they got thrashed." "You couldn't just say, 'No, they lost'? Had too large on those bums to cover." "The man is unbelievable. 1,000 miles from nowhere, he finds a way to call his bookie." "Flyboys have special privileges. Air Force supplies bookies, right, Sarge?" "Hell yeah, 'cause unlike Army, we can actually count past 10 and understand the nuances of a point spread." The Army boys shout a collective, playful hoorah. One of the local workers, a 13-year-old Bedouin boy named Mahfouz, sees Lennox and runs over eagerly. "Lennox, Lennox, you bring chocolate?" Lennox, seeing their little game. "Sorry, kid, you already ate it." "No, you lie, you give me." Lennox pulls a Snickers from his pocket and tosses it to the kid. "Help us with the gear." At the radar console, a blip appears. "Inbound bogey, 10 miles out." "Unidentified bogey, you're in restricted U.S. military airspace. Squawk ident and proceed east out of the area." "Raptors 1 and 2, proceed to intercept. We got no response from this bogey." Two F-22s orbiting the base bank hard. A massive MH-53 PAV Special Ops Command helicopter appears over the dunes. The F-22s streak overhead. Unidentified aircraft, we will escort you to U.S. SOCON Air Base. If you do not comply, we will use deadly force. The jet pilot lines up a heat-seeking reticule on the chopper. A tone indicates lock, and finally, the PAV descends. Bogey's coming down. Tail, AF-450 X-ray. Be advised, it's an American PAV, comms may be out. As the OP Center tech enters the tail into the computer, his brow furrows. Sir, it says here 450 was shot down 3 months ago. Afghanistan. It's gotta be a mistake. Concerned, he heads upstairs toward an air tower as the oblivious soldiers unload. Lennox's cell rings and he answers. Lennox, Sergeant, we have a home front connection for you. Please hold. Lennox pulls a laptop from the Humvee and connects his phone to it. A14, iChat window opens. His wife's face appears. Hey there, baby girl, how are my ladies? A world away from Qatar, Lennox's wife Sarah feeds their baby girl while talking into the iChat lens. Well, it's official. She has your smile. She smiled? Her first one, yeah. On Lennox, a proud papa, but also full of regret. Another moment he has missed. He tries to sound upbeat. That's great. I was telling her about the night we got locked out of the house, how her dad made a campfire in the backyard, and 9 months later, whoa, hey, isn't she a little young to be learning about the birds and the bees? I started laughing and I told her the keys were in your jacket the whole time. She smiled back, you know? Ever think maybe I locked us out on purpose? You're not that smooth. Oh, I put the ooh in smooth. Still coming home soon? We're due for a rotation. Hear that, Annabelle? You're going to meet your daddy in the flesh any day now. Static starts interrupting the line. Will, Sarah? The screen cuts to snow. Sounds of rotors thumping. Lennox and the soldiers turn as the arriving chopper settles to earth. Armed Humvees race onto the tarmac, circling the chopper. Light sweeps across its cockpit, revealing the pilot. An expressionless man with a mustache. Strange. The watch commander enters the tower and grabs binocs to view the chopper's tail ID outside. Holy shit! 450X? Something is not right. Unidentified aircraft, shut down and step out now. Mustache man just sits there. The MPs share nervous looks. Weapons raised. The damnedest thing happens. Mustache man fritzes, like an electronic seizure, and then disintegrates. A hologram. The shriek of an energy pulse rises in volume. Surveillance images. Every monitor turns to snow. Systems failing, radars jammed. It's coming from the chopper. Around the corner from the helicopter, Lennox, his men, and Mahfouz react to the ear-splitting sound. The sodium vapor work lights glow brighter, pulsing, then explode. Lightning arcs across the sky. The chopper begins to change shape. Rotors retract, transforming as it rises to height. Vortex. A massive Decepticon bot, barely visible through the smoke. A thunderclap concussion blows in all the windows. Our soldiers come running from their barracks in time to see pulse blasts vaporize an entire row of C-17 cargo planes. The men run for cover by a B-2 bunker as all the plane hangars are destroyed in the blast. Fire and smoke reduce visibility to zero. The roof of the operations center is ripped off by the unseen giant. Its massive hand tears up cables connected to the Cray computers. The cables come alive, wrapping like magnetic vines around Vortex's metal forearm as the copper wire sears into it. The beast emits a high-intensity shriek, like a modem connecting. The watch commander pulls himself from rubble. He sees fritzing monitors rapidly flashing a file that uploads onto the robot. Project Iceman, above top secret. Sector 7, access only. Panicked, the watch commander looks up through the shredded roof at the beast and yells to a techie, "Cut the hard lines! The hard lines!" A techie rips an axe from the wall and hacks down on a hard line. The cable explodes, severing the robot's connection to the file. With a roar, Vortex fires pulse blasts, obliterating everyone. The ops center explodes in 1,000 directions. Lennox and the team bolt for cover, heading directly between the robot's legs. Its massive feet thunder down, squashing a vehicle. A running point-of-view shot, Fig falls, swings the thermal view monitor directly up, managing to take a snapshot beneath the monster's underbelly. Alert! The robot's targeting system zooms in on the imager. Warning signal. It fires at the soldiers. Lennox tackles the boy to the ground. Epps swipes a scattershot launcher from his back and fires. 15 phosphorus magnesium flares mushroom like fireworks. Vortex's POV whites out. As it recovers, something disengages from its back and drops to the sand. Through flaming debris, makes it hard to see, we catch glimpses of its features. 2 claw-like drillers, 6 spindly legs, a lethal stinger, Scorponoc, a mechanical scorpion. It worms its way underground. Scorponoc's head emerges, barbed mandibles clicking and scanning. From his point of view, in the far distance, it sees the soldiers' heat signatures disappear over the dunes. Scorponoc's head burrows. A traveling mound of sand rockets off. On the hunt. An aerial shot of an American city, flying over a massive concrete jungle, the suburbs. We close in on a typical American high school. The sign reads, Tranquility High School. Go Aardvarks. Sam Witwicky, an endearing face that only wants to fit in. Sitting at the back of the class, he stares moonily at a girl across the room. Michaela Baines, a classic beauty, the apple of his eye. Unfortunately, she's sitting with her boyfriend, Trent DeMarco, your basic Abercrombie nightmare. The teacher, Mr. Hosny, bored, over it, calls out, "Okay, Sam, you're up." His pal Miles snaps fingers in Sam's eyes and breaks his trance. "Dude, Earth, now." Sam rises and gathers his backpack. He makes the long, long walk of shame to the head of the classroom. Enduring giggles and people throwing balled-up paper at him. So for my family genealogy report, I picked my great-great-grandfather, Captain Archibald Witwicky, one of the first guys ever to make it to the Arctic Circle. He turns open his backpack. Trent slingshots a gummy worm. It sticks in Sam's hair. "Quit it!" Trent, innocent shrug. "What?" Sam picks the worm from his hair, trying to maintain composure. "Ah, cherry, my favorite." He lays out his great-great-grandfather's navigation instruments. Among them, we favor the spectacles we saw in the ice cave. So, here are some of the tools of a 19th century seaman. People giggle. He is self-aware now. A quadrant, sextant, more giggles. He pushes through. The compass and his glasses. "This isn't show and tell, Mr. Witwicky. It's the 11th grade." "Yeah, I know. It's just, I'm also selling this stuff to put towards my car fund. They make really cool Christmas gifts, available at a low, low price." "Sam, Right. Anyway, I guess years of hypothermia froze his brain, and he ended up going blind and crazy in a sanitarium, drawing these weird symbols and babbling about a giant Iceman. Sam holds up newspaper clipping, circa 1897. Arctic Adventurer. Iceman found. Beneath it, we see a photo of Captain Archibald Witwicky, our ship's captain. Next to that, crudely drawn sketches of the alien symbols he saw. The bell rings. The kids flood out the door. Thank you, everyone. There might be a pop quiz tomorrow, might not. Sleep in fear tonight. Bye. To Sam. Saved by the bell. So, what's my grade? I'd say a solid B-. B-? What about all the visual aids? I wasn't really feeling it. No, you don't get it. You see that man sitting in the car? Sam points out the window. There's a man in a car out front. That's my dad. When I turned 16 last year, he said if I saved $2,000 and got 3 A's, he'd help me buy half a car. I need at least an A-. Ah, I remember my first car, a 1970 Gremlin. Isn't that what you still drive? Off of Hosny's glare. What I mean is, please, Mr. Hosny, my future, my freedom, my manhood, it is in your merciful hands. Sam's dad, Ron. Sam gets in the car, looking glim. So? Long beat. Sam turns to his dad and grins, slips on his shades. You owe me a car, Pops. Driving past auto dealerships, Sam stares excitedly out the window. Ron veers towards a Porsche dealer and slows. Got a surprise for you, Sam. You're not getting a Porsche. Ron veers back onto the street, cracking up. You are a cruel, cruel man. As Ron's car leaves frame, another car takes it. A dented 75 yellow Camaro, beaten all to hell. At the wheel is the mustache man we saw in the chopper. In daylight, there's a translucent quality to him. He follows Ron's car toward Bolivia's Auto Resale. Ron's car pulls in. This place looks like a junkyard. Here? No. Dad, there's a food chain in high school. It's not that I'm on the bottom. I'm not even on it. The right car says to girls, get to know me. Touch me. These cars say, run. Run away from the spaz. I think they say you're the guy who knows the value of a hard-earned buck, kiddo. No sacrifice, no victory. Can this turn into an after-school special? I need all the help I can get. Ron stares. Sam sighs and gets out. They're greeted by the owner, Bobby Bolivia. Pasty, a lopsided grin. Gentlemen, hiya, Bobby Bolivia. Like the country. At your service. My son is buying his first car. And you came to me? Well, that practically makes us family. Call me Uncle Bobby B. He puts an arm around Sam. I've been doing this a long time, kid. That first enchilada of freedom, just waiting under one of those hoods. See, drivers don't pick their cars, no sir. Cars pick their drivers. It's a mystical bond between man and machine. Sam passes the cars, examining each one. Bad minivans, heaps of junk metal. Sam stops and backs up to the yellow Camaro we just saw following him. The mustache man is now gone. He circles the car, tracing a finger along the black racing stripes. A boy's $10 attempt to look cool. At least it's got racing stripes. Bolivia stares at the car, confused as hell. Where did this one come from? He calls to his employee. Manny! The heck is this? Sam hops in and checks the dash. He notices, sarcastically, gee, an actual operating 8-track. A glint of light catches his eye. an emblem on the steering wheel. He wipes away the grime to reveal the Autobot symbol. How much? Well, considering the semi-classic nature of the vehicle, $5,000. We're not going above 4. 4? Kid, get out of the car. But you said cars choose their drivers. Well, sometimes they choose one that's out of their price range. Now this one here is a beautiful... As Bolivia climbs into an Edsel to show it off, the Camaro's passenger door swings open, slams into the Edsel, nearly crushing Bolivia. Thrown but covering, he climbs out. No problem. We can hammer that out easy. Meantime, feast your eyes on that one. It's As he closes the Camaro door, its horn blares. So loud, the windows of every other car on the lot explode. Glass flies everywhere. Everyone reacts in shock. What was that? Bolivia, at his ruined cars. No, no, no! Manny! Get out here! Ron grabs Sam and moves him off. Bolivia chases them. No, wait! It's your lucky day. On account of the kinks, 4,000. Sam looks at his dad. Please? Finally, Ron nods. Yes! Music pounds. Sam adjusts the rear view, turns the key, slams it into drive. Bobby Bolivia leans in and sprays something through the window. Sam coughs, waving away particles. New car sent, kid. On the house. Ron leans in the window. One promise. For any reason, and I'm not accusing you of anything, you think you shouldn't drive? Call me and I'll pick you up, no questions asked. Promise. Okay, thanks, Dad. As he peels out of the lot, a hubcap rolls away. From that to Washington Street. Hundreds of cars at rush hour. In the back of a taxi sits Maggie Marconi. She balances a cup of Starbucks, her iPod, her laptop. She types furiously, sees the awful traffic and checks her watch. Late. She dials a cell. A think tank populated by brainiacs. A desk phone rings. Glenn Whitman answers, African American, a tech geek eating fruity pebbles. Intercut. Hello? Glenn, it's me. I'm in a cab. Traffic sucks. I'm gonna be late again. Mags, don't do this to me. DHS almost traced me last time. Please, if my radio enervation brief isn't in by 4, I'm out of the... How'd you land a job at a think tank without knowing how to set your alarm? Okay, look. My archer will meet your Kodo beast in the Thunder Realm. You can have all. My platinum goblin armor? My grandma doesn't like me online gaming anymore. She says it diminishes my emotional quotient. Glenn, stop being a hapless techno weenie. I'm desperate. Okay, alright. Where are you? Heading north on Constitution. Glenn's fingers punch keystrokes at his computer. Activate traffic preemption system. He highlights Constitution Ave on a city grid. In front of the taxi, all traffic lights for 15 blocks go green. You got a straight shot. Go. How did you do that, lady? The cab peels out. Maggie rushes in, skids to an elevator and hits the call button urgently. Suddenly, 2 suited agents are in front of her. Maggie Marconi? They flash badges. Secret Service. We need you to come with us. Look, if this is about the traffic lights, I acted alone. It was all me. Agent 2 pushing her along. Come with us, please. Hey, I have a right to know where we're going. You'll see shortly. As they emerge, a helicopter lands on the front lawn. Maggie freezes in total surprise. The chopper roars over the DZ, circling the Pentagon. The agents lead Maggie through corridors. What is she doing here? A Pentagon official hands her a document on a clipboard. Secrecy oath. Please sign. Maggie signs. Her concern is growing. They lead her into a room full of similar analyst types. Maggie slides in a chair as a suited man enters. John Keller. No nonsense, gulping coffee from a paper cup. An analyst next to Maggie murmurs, amazed. That's the Secretary of Defense. Afternoon, everyone. I'm John Keller. Obviously, you're wondering why you're here. So these are the facts. At 0900 yesterday, the SOCANT Forward Operations Base in Qatar was attacked. There were no survivors. Everyone is shocked. The world is going to hear about it in half an hour. You are hearing now. The objective of the attack was to hack our military network. We aren't sure exactly what they were after, but we do know they were cut off during the assault, which leads us to assume they will try again. No one's claimed responsibility, and so far, the only real lead is this. A sound emanates from speakers, the same unearthly shriek we heard from Vortex during the SOCANT attack. That's the signal that hacked our network. The NSA is working at full capacity to analyze it, intercept further communications. But we need your help to find out who did this. You've all shown considerable ability in the area of signals analysis. Service is voluntary. Anyone wants out, there is the door. Nobody moves. We are on a hair trigger here. People the president's dispatched battle groups to the Arabian Gulf and South China Sea. This is as real as it gets. Godspeed. Everyone rises. Margaret Marconi, stay behind. Maggie is now totally thrown. The SecDef wants to talk to her? She follows him into the hallway. They walk. I'm told you used to run great guns at NSA, till you were fired for twice rewriting your superior's conclusions? Sir, about that, I have a slight problem with impulse control. Like, I probably shouldn't tell you that's an ugly tie and your bushy eyebrows are distracting. It's actually not Margaret. I mean, I hate that. It says Maggie on my birth certificate. A beat. He glares. Anyways, I'm working on it, sir. Your conclusions were right, however, both times. That's why you're getting a second chance. And also, because I'm told you're the best codebreaker there is. Thank you, sir. I won't take it for granted. Some people around here think you're a security risk. Don't prove me wrong. And he's gone. Maggie slaps her forehead in self-rebuke. Way to go. Eyebrow thing went over real well with the Secretary of Defense. Prelap a howling wind. The wind whips over the dunes in Qatar. A patch of sand trembles as Scorponoc's mechanical head emerges, scanning like a periscope. From Scorponoc's point of view, the low camera is moving, searching the desert. Voices echo with an electric static-like quality. The point of view zooms fast, following the voices to the source 10 miles away. Vascular renderings of our soldiers on a ridge. We scan over the men, then focus on Lennox as he crouches down, tending to a small wound on Mahfouz's arm. Lennox and the boy as he sets the bandage. The weary and demoralized soldiers take stock of their options. Donnelly and Epps study the recorded infrared image of Vortex. I've never seen a weapon system like this. The hell was it? Lennox checks his portable satellite transmitter. Ain't got no clue, but the SATCOM is fried. Can't get a hookup with aerial surveillance. Man, I don't know. My abuelita, she had the gift. People come to her all the time for fortunes, you know? I got that gene in my veins too, man. And that thing that attacked us, it ain't over. Yeah? So how about you use your magic voodoo powers and get us the hell out of here? It's Santeria, gringo. Listen up, he's right. We weren't supposed to survive that attack. If that thing knows we're alive, we are still targets. Plus, we're the only ones who saw what hit the base. Epps nods. The Pentagon is going to want payback. Right. So it's down to us to get that picture home ASAP. What's left of our gear? Not much. No radio, half the weapons, some flares. Hey kid, how much further to your village? Very close. Over the hill. Piece of cake. Ain't that right, Fig? He takes a deep breath. Piece of cake, sir. Eps? Finally he nods. Piece of cake. Okay, we're still under orders and losing time. 5-meter spread. They start to move off over the dunes. At this time, we can't confirm whether there were any survivors. We are close on the Sahara. Lennox's wife, a wreck of anxiety. She's watching CNN, where Keller speaks from the Pentagon. But our prayers are with the families of the brave men and women who were stationed at Soxend. Our bases worldwide are on high alert. We are committed to keeping you informed as we learn the facts. The baby cries. Sarah picks her up, trying not to lose it. Shh, shh, Daddy is okay, Daddy's okay. Back in the burbs, music blasts from the attic of a house. A list of goals tacked to the wall. Sam's hand crosses off 1. Get car. 2. Get new car stereo. 3. Get new paint job. 4. Get female passenger. That one he circles and looks over at it. A chihuahua named Mojo on his bed, wearing a diamond collar. Its leg in a cast, staring at him through skeptical dog eyes. Sam runs mousse through his hair, splashes on some cologne. He considers a beat and then drops in his underwear. The chihuahua gives him a curious look. Sam quickly goes to his computer, checks on his eBay auction page. The old junk he is selling, among other items, his great-grandfather's glasses. As a catchy sales tool, he has posted the old newspaper clipping beside the glasses. Arctic adventurer alleges Iceman found. The listing reads, bids placed 0. Sam says to Mojo, as he runs out, I know you're on pain pills, but if you whiz on my bed again, you're sleeping outside. Sam's mom, Judy, tends to her rose bushes, as Ron, the Home Depot freak, finishes laying down a stone path. The back door bursts open and Sam bounds toward his car, trampling the grass. Hey, it's called a path. Sam backtracks. See, is that so hard? When you own your own grass, you'll understand. Mojo barks. Mom, seriously, could you stop putting jewelry on Mojo? He's a boy. I think he looks cute. He's got enough self-esteem issues as a chihuahua. Ron, ribbing her. Maybe you should put him back in the dryer, hun. It was an accident, okay? I didn't know he fell asleep in the laundry basket. Picks up the dog. How's your little leggy-weggy, Sam rolls his eyes. By the way, your roses? Awesome. Really compliments your hair. Nice try. Home by 11 and drive safe. Sam rolls his eyes and jumps in the Camaro. A black toxic cloud belches from the tailpipe, nearly consuming the entire street as it roars off. Judy and Ron cough, waving it away. Did you have to be so damn cheap, Ron? Sam's buddy Miles sits on a stoop waiting. Sam pulls up in the Camaro, revving its throaty engine. Miles' expression drops. Listen to those ponies purr, huh? What do you think? It's yellow. Dude, it's old school. But it's yellow. You gonna diss my wheels? Can I drive? Get in the car, Miles. The shore is filled with hollering teens at the lake. Some swim. Sam's Camaro glides up. Miles emerges sheepishly. As Sam gets out, Michaela emerges from the lake, wrings her incredible hair. As she passes, Sam mumbles hi and drops his keys. At least tell me you maintain control of your bowels whenever she walks by. Michaela joins Trent by an Escalade. Seeing Sam, Trent points. Hey bro, sorry about your grandma. She died and left you that car, right? He and his buddies laugh. Miles comes to Sam's defense. It's old school, man. To Trent, disgusted. Not everyone's parents can afford an Escalade. Thought I recognized you in class. You're the little dude who tried out for the team last semester, right? We flash cut to Sam breathing hard, psyching himself up for a battle. Widen to reveal he's at team tryouts, wearing football padding way too big for him. A coach whistles, and Sam's helmet pops off like a champagne cork as 4 hulking linemen throttle him to the turf. He lies there, stunned, unable to breathe. You okay, kid? But all Sam can manage is a pained squeak. Sam plays it off self-conscious in front of Michaela. Me? Oh, that? I was just doing research. I wasn't really trying out. I'm working on a book. On what? Sucking at sports? No, actually, on the link between football and brain damage. Trent makes a menacing move towards Sam, but Michaela blocks him. Stop it. Glaring at her now, he opens his car door. There's a frat party. This sucks. Let me drive. Please, this is a tank. And you're like my little bunny. You can't handle this much machine. Oh, so I'm your little bunny now? Dude, what is with you? Tell you what, dude. Why don't you get in your daddy-bought car, turn on that expensive GPS, see if you can find some other forest creature to patronize. She stomps off as Trent's buddies him, telling them to shut the hell up. He gets in his car, and they all peel out. Furious, Michaela passes Sam. Strangely, the radio starts scanning and stops on the car's "Who's Gonna Drive You Home?" What's up with your radio, man? Sam echoing the lyric, I'm gonna drive her home tonight. What? She's an evil jock concubine. Let her hitchhike. Come on, it's like 10 miles to her house. I'm never gonna get another chance like this. Miles. You better come back for me. Miles gets out and Sam drives off. He sees Michaela stomping toward the exit. He says to himself, okay, be cool. Be super cool. He pulls up alongside her. Hey, Michaela, it's Sam. Witwicky? Hope I didn't get you stranded. It's fine. So, do you need a ride home? 'Cause I was just leaving if you wanted a ride. Or not. Michaela looks around and weighs her options. She sighs. The Camaro streaks along. Michaela, wearing Sam's jacket, stays warm and rants. I cannot believe I'm here. So, do you want me to turn around? No. Here in this situation, another Friday night watching Trent get unconscious with those idiots, and the worst part is it's all my fault. I do it to myself. I can't wait to go to college, because there's seriously a better be more to life than this. I mean, if something earth-shattering doesn't happen, I'm gonna kill myself. Sorry, I'm just venting. Are you wearing cologne? No. Yeah, it's a little aftershave. He rolls down the window. You like it? I would lighten it up a little. What class did you say we have together? Math, gym, social studies, history. She's blank. I was sitting in front of you giving a report for 5 minutes today. Sam, right. Suddenly the car sputters and the engine dies. No, not now. The car rolls to a stop at the edge of a bluff, headlights illuminating a sign, Overlook Point. The radio turns itself on. Barry White's I'm Ready for Love. I know how this looks. I would never try something like that on you. Michaela, I mean, not that you're not worthy of trying something like that, but that's not what I mean. Just pop the hood. Michaela is buried under the hood, amazed at the complex engine. Wait a sec. This is like an aluminum Stoker block engine. It's what they use in race cars. How do you know that? My dad, before he left, serious grease monkey. But you seem so not mechanical. Well, I don't broadcast it. Guys don't like it when you know more about cars than they do. But if Trent is driving you nuts, why do you care what he thinks? Alright, so I have issues. I'm a super freak of contradictions. She slams hood closed. I'm just gonna walk. Sam, kill me now. Yeah, okay, see ya. As he goes, Sam turns to his car and mutters urgently. How can you do this to me now? Please don't let her walk away. The engine revs to life. The radio blasts, Baby Come Back. Michaela turns, surprised. Sam stares, equally confused. A dumpy part of town is Michaela's house. The Camaro pulls up. She turns to him, softening, grateful. So, thanks for the ride. Anytime. A moment of connection. She gets out and starts to walk inside, but turns back. You think I'm shallow, huh? Sam smiles. I think there's a lot more to you than meets the eye. She gives him the greatest smile ever. Off that, rows of recruits sit at an audio station wearing headphones, listening to radio chatter. Among them, we find Maggie listening to Vortex's shrieking signal from the opening, playing it over and over. Getting nowhere, she removes the headphones, exhausted. An analyst near her leans in. What do you think? Chinese? Doesn't sound Chinese. This is something else. She puts the headphones back on and hits play again. The shrieking sound becomes the turbine roar of a majestic 747 as it roars over the clouds, flanked by escorting F-22s. Air Force One, somewhere over Virginia. Air Force specialists man the elaborate communication system. On a monitor, we catch a conversation between a Pentagon general and his aide. Battle Groups Truman, near the Arabian Gulf. Review in 1 hour. Yes, sir. A uniformed Air Force steward takes frame. We follow her to a door where a Secret Service agent stands guard. He nods to the stewardess, allowing her to enter. The President's stateroom. A pair of socked feet crosses on the bed. The presidential seal above the headboard. We never see the President's face. Yes, Mr. President. Think you can wrangle me up some ding-dongs and a glass of milk? Right away, sir. She exits as another Secret Service agent passes, entering the Secret Service cabin. People working, sleeping. We drift over to a boombox nestled in a corner. Silently, it starts reshaping and sprouts tiny feet. Scuttles crab-like around a sleeping agent's shoes, moving behind a seat, where the stereo transforms into a 4.5-foot Decepticon robot. Soundwave. Reed thin, legs like steel sticks, insanely narrow body. This thing is creepy. Unseen, it moves off. The mid-plane corridor, our stewardess enters. The other stewardesses drink coffee and gab. Stewardess 1 rolls her eyes. The man wants ding-dongs. I'll be in storage. She gets in another elevator and it descends. The elevator arrives and our stewardess gets out. Moves through the lower galley, storage freezers, food prep tables. She opens one of the freezers and finds ding-dongs. She starts unwrapping them. She accidentally drops one, and we follow it as it rolls across the floor, stopping at Soundwave's feet in shadow. Oblivious, the stewardess shuts off the ding-dongs, puts it on a plate, and gets back in the elevator. Alone, Soundwave emerges into the light. Moves to a locked access panel labeled POTUS Only. Steel fingers rip off the lock, removing the panel to reveal a mainframe terminal. Soundwave opens his mouth, emitting the same signal shriek we heard from Vortex. The computer blinks to life, connecting to Pentagon network. As Maggie listens to her headphones, a pop-up appears on the console. Foreign signal detected. Alert. She types fast. 2 sound graphs appear side by side, Comparing the signals, match. They're hacking the network again! The shriek continues emitting from Soundwave's open mouth. Reflected in his eyes, a file appears on the terminal screen. Project Iceman, above top secret, Sector 7 access only. The same file we saw Vortex try to download from the base. The shriek echoes through the room as Maggie types furiously. Run a trace route! I'm trying, but it's locking me out! On Soundwave's terminal, the file finishes downloading. Then, something even more terrifying appears. Transmitting virus to Pentagon Network. Maggie double takes as she notices a waveform going insane. Oh my god! Cut the hard lines! What? Cut the hard lines! I think they're planting a virus! The Pentagon Watch Commander snaps up a phone. Code Red. Cut all the server hard lines now! The virus upload continues. 90% transmission complete. Soundwave's mouth closes and the sound stops. The bouncing wave flatlines. The noise is gone. We lost it! As Soundwave is about to retreat, the elevator returns. An agent emerges with a flight deck specialist. They notice the broken lock on the floor. Secret Service agent into his wrist mic. Break in, Sector 2. Repeat, break in, Sector 2. Soundwave rises behind them. Steel discs shoot from its chest into the men. A team of agents comes streaming into the lower hold, guns drawn. All they find is an eerie sight. 2 bodies riddled with discs. No sign of Soundwave. Just a boombox on a food prep table playing music. Off that, crickets at the Witwicky house. It's late and eerie. Sam is asleep. Out of the window, his Camaro sits in the driveway. Suddenly, it starts up. Sam's eyes pop open. He sits up to see the mustache man behind the wheel. Hey, that's my car! The man backs out of the driveway. Sam frantically falls out of bed, throws on shoes, grabs a jacket, and leaps out the window. He races after the car, but the man drives away. Sam hops on his bike and gives chase. Trying to keep up, he grabs his cell from his jacket. He dials while steering. 911 emergency. My car is being stolen. Get the cops. I'm following him right now. Sir, do not approach the driver. It could be dangerous. The car brakes at a stop sign. Sam looks up, careens into the back bumper, tumbling off the bike. The car peels out again. Sam collects himself. He hops back on the bike and races after it. We hold on Sam's phone left on the ground. The operator's voice. Sir, we're tracing the call. Are you all right, sir? The Camaro glides up to a closed gate of an old cement factory. It drives forward, busting the lock. Sam follows, hopping off his bike, watches the car disappear through dense fog. When it emerges, the mustache man is gone. The car is driving itself. It rolls up to the edge of a quarry. The car changes shape. No clear view, only hints, but enough to know it's walking on 2 legs. Sam trembles in shock, hidden behind a crate, watching as the dark being pulls something from its chest, a strange humming disc that radiates a blinding light. It flares Sam's eyes, coalescing into the Autobot symbol. It beams up to space. Suddenly, a terrifying sound behind Sam. Grrr. 2 Rottweilers lunge. Sam runs, jumping onto a mound of crates. He leaps over a barbed wire fence, ripping his clothes, as the dogs dig under the fence, still giving chase. They grab his ankle. They trip Sam to the dirt. But the Camaro bursts through the fence, spinning donuts around Sam, honking furiously to get the dogs away. They whimper and run off, frightened. Sam scrambles backward from the car. Please, please don't kill me. Police sirens. Sam spins, running headfirst into 2 squad cars. The cops hop out, guns drawn. Freeze! Hands! Up! Not me, wrong guy! My car! He points, but the Camaro is gone. Sam is thrown onto the hood. The slam takes us to the Pentagon War Room. People race through the Crisis Action Center. Keller and Admiral Brigham, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, NSA and CIA directors, a nervous techie. Maggie behind them races to keep up. Air Force One made an emergency landing. The president is moving to a secure location. Maggie trying for attention. Sir, if I could just... Whoever did this finally managed to infiltrate our defense network, which is what they tried to do in Qatar. Only this time, it worked. Okay, what did they get? We still don't know. What about the virus? Again, no idea what it'll do. So far, it isn't affecting our systems, but that could change any second. This is obviously the first phase of a bigger plan, presumably a major strike against the United States. Any idea who we're looking at? Russia and China are the only countries with this kind of capability. That's a mistake. Everyone stops, turns, caught off guard by her bravado. Who the hell are you? Who is she? Keller glares at Maggie, the analyst who detected the hack. Sir, I was just going to say, in theory, it would take 20 years to crack our security codes. No one on Earth could do it. Really? Then tell me why our latest satellite imagery shows China doubling its naval activity. Maybe they're just responding to our movement as a precaution. Maybe isn't a word we build our defense posture on. I like to think it's not a word you'd go to war over either, sir. Brigham glares. If I could just have some time to study their signal pattern. No, we have senior analysts on that. Now look, if you can't find a way to muzzle every knee-jerk impulse that crosses your mind, I am taking you out. The men turn away from her, head off. Sir? Annoyed, Keller turns. There's more to this than meets the eye. I know it. Flashing lights. Military and police vehicles cover the tarmac surrounding Air Force One. It is now a crime scene. Forensics crew search every inch of the plane. The wheel wells of the plane. Soundwave drops down and crosses the tarmac unseen. He comes to a police car. The door opens as if it were waiting for Soundwave. The police car is another Decepticon named Brawl. Soundwave climbs in, reshaping into stereo form. He slots into the dashboard, fusing itself with the police car and becoming part of it. Behind the wheel, tendrils of blue electricity form a figure. The mustache man hologram. His clothes smoothly change shape and color, morphing into the attire of a police officer. The cop car rolls to the gate. A soldier waves. The officer waves back. In so doing, he fritzes. The police car drives off into the night. We pre-lap. So the guy with the mustache just, in your words, fizzled into thin air, and your car was driving by itself? Sam, exhausted, unraveling, sits beside his father as he's grilled by the sheriff. Yes, that's what I said. I couldn't be any clearer than how crystal clear I'm being right now. It transformed. It stood up. Wow, some cruise control, huh? Look, it's been a long night. He's upset, and I'm taking him home. We'll run it through the wire, see what turns up. As Sam and Ron head out, the sheriff murmurs to Ron, You know, it's your responsibility to talk to your son about drugs. Ron and Sam make their way down the station steps. You want to tell me what happened? Sam, lost. Remember when you said you'd pick me up, no questions asked? Yeah, that was the deal. They stop at Ron's car. Dad, you know how Great Gramps pretty much flew the cuckoo's nest? You think it could have been passed down to me? Like some kind of mutant Witwicky gene? Ron is worried. Dotting the vast desert landscape, telephone poles connected by a single high-tension wire, we boom down to the boy leading our soldiers toward a tiny, isolated wasteland hamlet, a few dozen huts, crumbled buildings in the distance. Suddenly, one of the poles shuddered, as if shifted by something below ground. An aged wood-frame sign, maybe 30 feet high, breaks and starts to give way, crashing down. Frightened buzzards fly away. Lennox and their men turn. How did that fall? The sand beneath Donnelly shakes, and then, as a hint of something metal and snake-like slithes beneath him, he fires his rifle. The thing disappears. Total silence. Tension pulse. Then bam! Scorponoc explodes from the ground and sprays everywhere. As its barbed tail yanks Donnelly clear off his feet, flipping him upside down midair, pulling him beneath the surface. Move! Move! The soldiers bolt toward the village. The camera, low and wild, closes in on them, faster and faster. Scorponoc leaps from the sand like a great white shark, dropping back down onto a team member. Dogs bark like mad, horses rear and stampede. Tribesmen shout in Arabic as the soldiers run in. Lennox ordering his men, "Take cover! Form a perimeter!" Our team dives into defensive positions behind mud walls. A man, Akram, runs up to see Mahfouz, his son. Subtitled Arabic. "Where have you been?" He points to the soldiers. "These men saved my life, Papa." "Do you have a phone?" He shouts to his team. "Lay down fire!" "This way." As they run off toward the hut, the soldiers fire at Scorponoc as it leaps in and out of the sand. The metal monster fires back massive plasma blasts. Thatched huts ignite and structures are vaporized into dust. The door busts open in Mahfouz's hut as Lennox and Akram run in. Akram grabs a cell phone. Lennox dials and shouts against loud gunfire. "AT&T, how may I direct your call?" "International TC to USA, this is an emergency Pentagon call." "Your cell service doesn't include long-distance minutes, sir. Do you have a major credit card?" "Listen to me, I need you to put me through." "I'll be happy to connect you, sir, with a major credit card." "Shit!" Lennox turns and bursts outside as bullets merely deflect off of Scorponoc's armor-shielded chassis. Fig fires a grenade launcher. The sand explodes. Scorponoc vanishes into rapid-fire flashes. "I hit it, but it won't go down." Lennox races in and spins Fig around. He indicates the cell. "I need a credit card." "Got no credit, Sarge, I'm broke." Lennox races on to Epps, who blasts madly at Scorponoc. "Come on, sucker! I'm gonna take a patch out of your ass!" "Sir, there is no need for that kind of language." No, not you! Hang on! Epps, your wallet! Back pocket!" Lennox pulls the wallet from Epps's pocket. He rolls off, dodging plasma blasts, as he fumbles through the credit cards. "Got it, American Express. And don't tell me you don't take it." "Would you like to hear about our Premium Plus World Service Package? It allows 100 free minutes for—" "I hate special offers. Put the damn call through now." The lines ring. A Pentagon operator answers. "Pentagon emergency line. United States Air Force officer under hostile fire. Request relay to SOCOM." Lennox shouts into the phone as explosions blast around him, his team members being taken out one by one. "We're under continuing attack from an unknown aggressor. Need immediate air support." A console tech snaps around to Keller, who is conferring with an agent across the room. "Sir, Satellite is tracking a security team under fire in Qatar. They say they're survivors of the base attack. We've got A-10 patrols on the way. Put it on the monitors. A satellite feed appears on the plasmas, in real time, represented by thermal signature. Keller sees Lennox and his team battling Scorponoc. What is that? Lennox tosses the cell aside and runs to his men. We got a beam rider incoming. Paint the target. The men fan out, forming a perimeter around Scorponoc as they aim their rifle laser designators. We see intersecting red beams tracking the beast, painting the target. 2 A-10 fighter jets scream over the dunes. In the cockpit, the laser designators appear on the tracking display. Star 1 to base, we've acquired a target. Scorponoc fires pulse blasts at Fig, who dives but takes a serious hit. The thermal imager tumbles from his pack and rolls across the sand. The creatures advance on the imager. Star 1 locking on. MAV missiles leap off the rocket pad and blast through the air. Lennox sees the incoming missiles and dives into an embankment as they hit Scorponoc dead on. When the smoke clears, it's unharmed. No way. He swings around at the roar of an incoming AC-130 gunship. Massive. Enough firepower to carpet bomb an entire town. Incoming! The soldiers run as the massive plane fires 6,000-degree sabot rounds at Scorponoc, an eye-searing explosion. The men seem to disappear in the blast. The white-hot signature billows on the thermal feed. What happened? Did we lose him? Star 1, do you have a visual on the soldiers? Over. A tense beat, and Lennox appears through the smoke, waving a signal flare as the jets streak overhead. Victory. We got him. Copy, base. Lennox sinks to his knees, thermal imager in hand. Epps beside him. Villagers emerge from hiding, among them Mahfouz and Akram, safe. As the smoke clears, Scorponoc is revealed, flapping around, its razor-barbed legs fighting to stand. One of the legs falls off as the creature burrows back into the sand. Man, that's some freaky wicked machine. Lennox stares, drained of strength. The sound of fast, heavy breathing turns him to Fig, his chest rising with shallow breaths, wounded. Lennox races over. Stay with me. Oh man. Apps! Get a medevac down here now! Back in Sam's room, Sam snaps upright, stirring from sleep. Reality crashes. Was it all a dream? He gets up and opens the door. His mom is standing there, worried, trying to be casual. Hi, honey. You want to talk about it? Can this wait until both my eyes are open? Sure, I'll go to the market. Can I get you anything special? He shakes his head, no. Want to talk about it? Mom, seriously, I'm fine. Don't worry. Okay, I love you, honey. She goes, still worried. Sam shuffles from the room, and we hold on his computer screen, showing his eBay auction page. The same eBay page on another computer screen. We are in the interior of the police car from earlier, Brawl. Soundwave on the passenger seat, his beady eyes studying the auction page on a police terminal attached to the dash. Soundwave is looking at Captain Witwicky's spectacles. We pan to the crudely drawn alien symbols in the old newspaper article. Then, eBay seller contact information, Sam's name and photograph. From his smiling face, we go to Sam's groggy face as he bumbles into his kitchen, unaware he's the target of alien robots. Out the window, he sees his mom's wagon back out of the driveway and leave. Wiping sleep from his eyes, he opens the fridge and rummages. Mojo starts yapping wildly. Something outside. Shut up, Mojo. Sam grabs milk. When he closes the fridge, his Camaro is in the driveway, parked right up against the glass door. Sam screams and drops the milk. He grabs a cordless phone and runs as he dials. Hello? Miles, it's me. I thought it was a dream. It's not. It's real. It's alive. I bought Satan's Camaro. Miles tries to cradle the phone in his shoulder as he bathes his 200-pound English Mastiff. Whoa, slow down. What's alive? My car. It stole itself. It walked. Now it's back and it's trying to kill me. I think it wants my soul. The huge Mastiff farts. Miles recoils, waving it away. Aw, Mason, no, bad. I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of an environmental disaster here. Bad dog. I'm coming over. Don't go anywhere. He throws down the phone, checks out his bedroom window, runs from the house. He grabs his mom's pink bike and pedals off. A taxi pulls up beneath a giant city bridge. Maggie gets out, pays the driver, moves quickly to the door of a tiny house. Glenn, Maggie's think tank buddy, surrounded by burger wrappers, plays Warcraft online. Annoyed by the distraction, he opens the door. Glenn turns, crimson in his boxers. Maggie? Can I come in? Glenn, who is it? Hold on, Grandma. What happened to you? Was it the traffic light thing? It wasn't the traffic light thing. I need your help. This is gonna get me in trouble, huh? Glenn! You gotta go. You're giving my grandma a heart attack. Glenn's grandma enters in a bathrobe, curlers in her hair. Who is she? No one, Grandma, just a friend. Are you playing those video games again? You're a grown man. Now turn that off. I'll make you a grilled cheese sandwich. Does your friend want one? I'd love a grilled cheese sandwich, Miss Whitman. Glenn's grandma coughs for his attention, nods to Maggie's shoes and the plastic flooring over the shag as she exits. Take off your shoes and stay on the plastic. Grandma is weird about touching the carpet. Maggie kicks off her shoes. Glenn, please. No one is better at signal decryption than you. You're the only one smart enough to understand what I'm talking about. Did you just compliment me by complimenting yourself? You see what I mean? You see right through me. As he shoves her toward the door, Maggie pulls a mini CD from her bag. No, wait. Want to see something classified? Keller and an aide tread a corridor. The Rangers got a thermal snapshot of whatever hit the base, but the imager was damaged. We're working on it now. They're intersected by a security agent. We have a security issue. Circle logs indicate one of the analysts made a copy of the network intrusion signal. Maggie Marconi? Yes, sir. How did you know? Back in Glenn's grandmother's house, on a monitor, a waveform bounces furiously. Signal strength is through the roof. Where did you say you got it? It hacked the Pentagon in less than a minute. What? That's impossible. It'd be like real artificial intelligence, like passing the Chinese box test. Like sentient. So where did it come from? R2-D2? Seriously. R2-D2. I mean, it's like the same kind of machine language, but I've never seen it before. Just so one of us finally says it out loud, are we talking about, like, alien machines here? Who says life on other planets has to evolve from carbon? Why not silicon? They share a look. He notices something in the sound graph. Wait a minute. Looks like there's something embedded in the signal. It's gotta be the file they hacked. Can you open it? The file name appears. Project Iceman, above top secret. Sector 7 access only. Project Iceman? What is Sector 7? No idea. The file opens to reveal streaming alien code, the same code we saw burned into Captain Witwicky's glasses. What is that? From out of nowhere, the front door flies open and agents burst in. Maggie and Glenn are thrown to the floor as Glenn's grandma enters screaming. Maggie Marconi, you're under arrest for the unauthorized theft of classified information. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you can and will be used against you in a court of law. He is not part of this. What is this? What's going on? Grandma, it's okay. Calm down. Tell them to stay on the plastic. Sam pedals furiously on his mom's bike, hauling ass through town. He looks over his shoulder to see if he's being followed, and, yes indeed, the Camaro appears down the block behind him. Sam freaks and races around a corner, nearly colliding with Michaela as she exits a Burger King with friends. Sam swerves, wobbles, and slams into a tree. He tumbles off the bike, landing hard. Oh my God, Sam, are you okay? Getting up dazed, his cojones aching. Me? No, I'm fine. I'm just great, you know. I had a good life and, are you hurt? Sam sees the Camaro appear, creeping around the corner. I'm losing my mind. I gotta go. In terror, he grabs his bike and pedals off fast. Michaela's friends share glances, but she's worried. I'll catch up, okay? She unlocks a Vespa from a rack and climbs on. As she's about to pull out into the street, a police car zips past, nearly hitting her. She screeches, yelling at the driver. In the rear view, Michaela recedes into the distance of the police car. We angle to the driver, the mustache man in cop uniform. Sam bikes across a parking lot, totally paranoid, looking over his shoulder. Through a sea of car windows, the Camaro is driving down a parallel aisle, still following Sam. He pedals faster. He doesn't see the police car up ahead. The driver door swings open. Bam! Sam once again is knocked off his bike and hits the ground harder than last time. He peels himself up in pain, but more than that, he's pissed off. That hurt! So lame. This is like the worst day ever. Against the headlight glare, Sam sees the mustached officer behind the wheel. Oh, officer, thank God! You're not going to believe this, but my car is trying to kill me! The cop doesn't move. Hello? Are you listening to me? Sam slams his fists onto the hood. The police car juts forward, knocking him on his ass. This is no joke. He's scared now. Sorry, officer. I didn't mean any disrespect. The headlight covers swing open, and the bare bulbs telescope outward, like two snake aliens, right into Sam's petrified face. Within 6 seconds, the cop car transforms, rising into a 16-foot-tall robot. This has just become the scariest moment of Sam's life. He runs like hell. Behind him, we see Brawl giving chase. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit! Whack! Brawl's metal hand swats Sam into the air. He slams into a windshield, spiderwebbing the glass, watching in terror as the robot stomps forward. Bad dream, please just let me wake up. Brawl leans over Sam on the shattered windshield, face to face. His hands smash the sides of the car, the tires exploding. Where are the ancestral artifacts? Where are they? Scared out of his skull, Sam only stammers. Have the Autobots seen the code? I have no idea what you're talking about. You will not live to help them. Brawl's hand reaches for Sam, but he leaps onto the roof and jumps. He hits the ground running. The empty car behind him gets flipped aside as Brawl hurls it away, stomping after Sam. He rounds a corner and collides with Michaela on her Vespa. Now she and her bike go tumbling. Oh, my arm! Sam, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Michaela, you gotta get up. Get out! Michaela, run! A massive steel foot slams down on Michaela's Vespa, crushing it to dust. She looks up, sees Brawl, and screams her head off. Suddenly, another car roars in. It's the Camaro. Sam dives, rolling Michaela out of the way, as the Camaro does a 40-mile-per-hour power slide, smashing into Brawl, knocking it across the asphalt. The passenger door swings open. "Rescue me" explodes from the speakers. The Camaro honks. What's going on? Brawl rises. The Camaro honks again. Sam makes a decision. Get in the car! They dive in and the Camaro peels out as Brawl runs after them, transforming back into a cop car. The car chase barrels through abandoned skeletal warehouses, through an old train yard. Side panels on the cop car rise up, rocket pods loaded with missiles. The Camaro swerves left and right as they streak past. Sam and Michaela are tossed like rag dolls, screaming. This isn't happening! This isn't happening! Whatever, whoever, wherever you came from, just go, go, go! The Camaro reaches a dead end and peels a 180, spinning it so it's facing the oncoming cop car in a game of chicken. Bad idea! Bad idea! The Camaro charges. So does Brawl, firing a missile. It streaks past the Camaro's windshield. Sam's head snapping around as he follows the contrail in shock. Was that a missile? Yeah, think so. The missile detonates nearby. Seconds before colliding, the cars swerve. A grapple cable launches from the Camaro, coiling around the cop car's bumper. It's spun around, and now the Camaro is pulling the cruiser left and right, smashing it into trees and telephone poles. The Camaro screeches to a stop, doors flying open. Sam and Michaela are thrown into the dirt. They scramble for footing. Sections of the Camaro peel back like a banana, grinding up and rising, stacking, before their very eyes. We boom up, dramatically revealing the body of another robot, its name Bumblebee. Brawl transforms too, and the robots charge. Sam and Michaela find themselves stuck between the two metal beasts. A section of Brawl's chest opens up and out springs Soundwave. The super thin robot hurtles at the kids, grabs their shirts, and spins them 360. They careen onto still under construction housing. Bumblebee leaps to protect the kids, swinging an arm as he takes the brunt of Brawl's hit. Bumblebee is hurtled backwards, rolls up, pile drives into Brawl, whose massive leg swoops over the kids' heads. Brawl flips Bumblebee onto his back, slamming him down on an aluminum shed. Bumblebee recovers, tears up a street lamp and swings, knocking Brawl across the road, towards Sam and Michaela, who roll urgently out of the way. Soundwave lashes at Sam, grabbing his jeans and dragging him close. Get it off! Get it off me! He's got me! I'm gonna die! Sam wiggles right out of his jeans to escape Soundwave's grasp. He hops right onto his black socks, tennis shoes, and boxers. He yells an animal cry of rage, ready for battle. Michaela. Hey! Soundwave snaps around. Michaela has grabbed a power saw and wields it like a weapon, her eyes on fire. Why don't you come after me, you anorexic metal freak? Soundwave leaps at her. She swings the saw, cutting off his arm. Sam swings a piece of metal rebar, battering crazily at Soundwave's head and whacking it clear off. Bumblebee's hand comes up, his arm transforming into an energy cannon. He fires a burst and hits Brawl's chest like a mortar launch, knocking him into a construction pit, impaled on spikes. Winding to a stop, Brawl slumps, just as Soundwave's headless torso crumples. The dust clears, revealing Sam in his boxers. Looking down at Soundwave's severed head, twitching spastically, mouth still chittering. Not so tough without a body, are ya? He kicks the head, but its teeth clamp onto Sam's foot. He dances around in a panic, trying to shake it off. Get it off! Get it off! His shoe flings off, Soundwave's head still attached to it. Sam, chill! Bumblebee approaches. He picks up Sam's jeans and offers them to him. Thanks? Bumblebee smiles. Sam quickly puts his pants back on. Michaela, what is it? A robot, I think, but like super advanced. Probably Japanese. Yeah, it's gotta be Japanese. Full of wonderment, he moves closer to Bumblebee. What are you doing? Bumblebee takes a step closer, too. He looks down at Sam, like a puppy coming to meet his master. Sam smiles. I don't think he's gonna hurt us. Oh yeah? You speak robot? 'Cause they just had like a droid deathmatch, and you're acting like it's Herbie. Both the boy and the robot stare at each other. Connection. I think they want something from me. Like what? The other one kept asking me about ancestral artifacts. Something about a code? Whatever that means. Sam to Bumblebee. Can you talk? Bumblebee shakes his head like a dog. A DJ voice, XM satellite radio, 130 digital channels of non-stop commercial-free music, news, and entertainment. I think he talks through the stereo. Affirmative applause from the stereo. What were you doing out last night? A radio evangelist's sermon. And a mighty voice will send forth a message, summoning visitors from heaven. You were calling someone? Visitors from heaven? What are you, like an alien or something? Bumblebee nods and squeaks. His doors swing open. I think he wants us to get in. Michaela, hesitating. And go where? I don't know, but think about it. 50 years from now, when we're looking back on our lives, don't you want to be able to say you had the guts to find out? Michaela chews on that. A pregnant pause. Then, her decision comes as a slam cut. The Camaro peels out and sprays gravel. As Bumblebee cruises, Michaela checks out the shoddy interior. Wait a sec. If you can, reshape yourself, why'd you pick such a hoopty? I mean, if you could be anything. Bumblebee slams the brakes and skids. The passenger door swings open. Sam and Michaela are ejected on the pavement. Sam rises. Great, now you hurt its feelings. The windshield, its inner encumbrance, turns into a wall screen. Rapid-fire imaging as Bumblebee scans the streets, zooming fast and jumping from car to car, analyzing, searching for the perfect one. He stops on a brand new '06 Chevy Camaro GTO. Beams shoot from Bumblebee's headlights, trans-scanning it. It's how Transformers replicate mechanical shapes. Bumblebee's chassis starts reshaping. They gape as metal morphs, twisting into an exact duplicate of the GTO. It's bitchin'. Now this is a car. Rock guitar blasts as Bumblebee zooms off. The one-way mirror looking in on Maggie and Glenn sitting side by side at a metal table. Her mind spins as her eyes dart, eating through the anxiety. Time cuts as he chows on 5 donuts from a plate on the table. Glenn spitting crumbs. Look, just don't say anything. I know how these guys work. They're gonna try and play us against each other. Don't fall for it. You want a bear claw? An interrogation agent enters and Glenn instantly crumbles, sliding away from her and pointing. It's all her. She did it. I'll turn the state's evidence, whatever you need. Glenn? Glenn, about to cry or throw up. Sorry, Mags. I'm not going to jail for you or anybody. I haven't done anything bad in my entire life. I mean, I'm still a virgin. Okay, maybe I downloaded 3,000 illegal songs off LimeWire and hacked the CIA once, but I just wanted a free badge. I'll give it back. Glenn, shut up. No, you shut up, criminal. Suddenly he's dizzy. Whoa, sugar high. Maggie to the agent. Listen, the signal is a machine language, maybe even alien. Yes, I know how that sounds, but they downloaded a file, something labeled Sector 7. It's some kind of code. You gotta tell Keller, before we go to war with the wrong people. The Camaro pulls up above the city hillside. Sam and Michaela get out, look up at the sky. Unearthly lights flicker through the clouds. Sam? In the distance, Earth from space. Suddenly, a burning comet blasts towards it. Hitting the atmosphere, the comet breaks into 5 pieces. The biggest one crashes 2 acres away, plowing up Earth and skidding, dirt exploding everywhere. On instinct, Michaela grabs Sam, clutches him tight. As the comet comes to a stop, they realize they're holding each other and they awkwardly let go, playing nonchalant. Sorry, it's cool. An aerial view of a baseball park, a game in full swing. A burning comet careens overhead and crashes in an alley behind the stadium. 3 teens eat at a street cafe. One of them films his friends with a video camera. We are in its POV when suddenly the cafe window implodes and cars fly as the second comet blows past. Everything is whipped out of frame. The kid with the camera runs from the store to get this on tape. A 5-year-old boy lies in bed. He's missing a front tooth. A distant thunderclap sends him leaping from his bed over to the window, where a third comet crashes into his pool. Excited, he reaches under his pillow and pulls out his tooth. Thinking the tooth fairy had just arrived, he races happily off. Sam, Michaela, and Bumblebee follow a trail of flaming trees. A highway divides them from a ditch where a 4th comet landed. Now we see it's not in fact a meteorite, but a silver sphere embedded in the ground, a complex tangle of metal, dripping white-hot silver beads. Metal bits dripped off the side, reverse gravity and reattach themselves, blending back into the sphere. It opens like a blossoming mercury flower, and then a metallic leg, an arm, the peak of a head. Against flaming oak trees, a silhouette rises up into a 2-legged, massive endoskeleton. Sam and Michaela gape at its 35-foot frame. A horn blasts. An 18-wheeler is rushing toward them from the highway. The mechanoid's face turns toward the oncoming truck, trans-scanning it. The massive endoskeleton starts reshaping. The truck roars past, and when it clears frame, a second identical truck is facing Sam and Michaela from across the road. The mechanoid has transformed itself. An exotic car spins in the window. The second endoskeleton appears before it. The endoskeleton's point of view, an alien readout, scanning the car's dimension down to the centimeter. Rushing with the cafe kids past a chewed-up parking lot, they reach a huge fiery hole in the side of an old TV shop. Fire trucks and ambulances race onto the scene, men jumping out. Through the video camera we see kid number 1. Is that an asteroid? Something moving! Look! A massive, indiscernible shape is visible only for an instant before disappearing into a cloud of smoke. What is it? Oh my god, what is it? From the smoke, an ambulance emerges, an exact duplicate of the ones we just saw arrive. It screeches off. The pool in the boy's backyard has evaporated into steam. The boy approaches, our angle behind him, as another monstrous metal foot emerges through the steam, then a hand. The boy's face, his look tracking up, and up, and up, as the shadow of the 4th endoskeleton rises before him. The boy shows no fear, only wonderment, as he offers the robot his tooth. Daddy says I get $5. On a nearby driveway sits a black dually pickup truck. The robot's massive, unseen form moves off, rustling through the trees. crashing through a fence. The boy's parents burst through the back door. Holy God, what happened to the pool? The tooth fairy drank it. An engine roar turns their heads and they see a duplicate of their pickup truck roaring away from the house. The 18-wheeler drives across the road towards Sam and Michaela. Its huge grille stops inches from them. They tremble as the truck transforms into, oh yes, Optimus Prime. The other vehicles roar in, stomping beside Optimus and transforming into robotic form. Reflected in their eyes, as one, the robots access the internet. Yahoo appears. They download every piece of data in cyberspace. Millions of images throughout history, pop culture. Optimus assesses Earth's population count. Because China is number 1 with 1.3 billion, his first words to them are in booming Chinese. They stare dumbfounded. Michaela whispering, "Was that Chinese?" Hearing her, Optimus's readout changes to English. He lowers down, his massive face 10 times bigger than their bodies. When he speaks, we recognize his voice from our opening voiceover. Samuel James Witwicky, ancestor to Archibald Witwicky, captain of the sailing vessel Discovery? Yeah. I am Optimus Prime. You speak English too? We have assimilated Earth's languages through your World Wide Web. Bumblebee plays a yodel-like Yahoo jingle. You are aliens. Correct. We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron. Autonomous robots? Autobots. There are no translations for our individual nomenclatures. You mean your names? Yes, they have been selected from your vocabulary to approximate our behavioral temperaments. He looks at the exotic car. My first lieutenant, designation Jazz. Greetings. The pickup truck? Our weapons specialist. Forged in the tri-peninsular Taurus states of Praxis. Ironhide. Ironhide admiring himself. This exoskeleton appears suitable for battle. He points at the ambulance. Our medical officer, chief emissary to the High Council of Ancients. Ratchet. A holographic medical scan emits from Ratchet. It passes over Sam and Michaela like an X-ray. They are revealed for a minute in their underwear. Whoa! Hey, scanning people is not cool. Salutations, female. You are healthily commencing the 5th stage of puberty. Sam Witwicky, you are still in the 4th, but progressing nicely. Sam is beet red. Okay, thanks for that. Good to know. The female name is Michaela Baines. Understood. Michaela Baines. And you already know Bumblebee, the guardian of Sam Witwicky. Bumblebee? From Bumblebee's speakers, Muhammad Ali and his famous catchphrase plays, floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. If you can talk, why can't he? His vocal processor was destroyed on the battlefields of Tiger Pax. We come in search of the Energon Cube, a supreme power that imbues us with the gift of spark. The life force within all Transformers. We must find the cube before Megatron does. Who's Megatron? Optimus pauses. He answers with a heavy heart. Once we were brothers, united, twin sons among the dynasty of primes. But greed twisted him into a servant of evil. He turned his armies against us. For their betrayal, they wear the name Decepticons. Optimus projects a 3D holographic image midair, a battle image from Cybertron. Craters, carnage, destruction for miles. Machine limbs litter the ground. We find a lone figure atop the graveyard of Transformer remains. Though we only see him from behind, his massive form is terrifying. Megatron. Standing over a dying Autobot, Megatron plunges a fist into the Autobot's chest, ripping out his spark. Megatron feeds on the sparks of the vanquished, growing stronger with each one he consumes. Megatron bellows a deafening roar as the image fades away. The war nearly extinguished our race. Those who survived were forced to flee. Megatron was the first to follow the cube signal here, before succumbing to the ice, where your ancestor encountered him. The Iceman! Yes. Your grandfather accidentally triggered Megatron's navigational system, which holds coordinates to the cube's location on Earth. The beam blinded him, but it left a coded imprint as well. What do you mean, coded imprint? In his prosthetic lenses. His glasses? The map to the cube is on his glasses? Whoa, how do you all know this? Or that he even had them? eBay. No way. If we are first to reach the cube, we will return it to our home world and rebuild our race. And if Megatron finds it, he will use it to transform your planet's machinery, a new legion of Decepticons born for a single purpose, conquest of the universe, beginning with Earth. A long pause, then Michaela looks over at Sam. For the love of God, please tell me you have those glasses. Our soldiers, Lennox, Epps, and 5 more, heading stateside. Around a surgical table, an R&D team study Scorponoc's severed tail. Though damaged, sections of it are slowly regenerating. Unbelievable. Some kind of self-regenerating molecular armor. Lennox leans closer, studying the section where the artillery round burned off the leg from the rest of the body. Look at the scorch marks where the sabot round hit. Melted right through. A magnifying glass lowers to the charred edge. Close up, we see it's the only part that isn't regenerating. Sabots are hot-loaded for 6,000 degrees magnesium burn. These things react to temperature. The tail suddenly moves. Its deadly point lashes reflexively, piercing the steel table clear through. Everybody leaps back. As abruptly as it came alive, the tail goes limp again. Everyone takes a breath. Reflex. I hope. Get on the radio with Northern Command. Our effective weapon is high-heat sabot rounds. Recommend we load them in all our gunships. Go. As Epps moves off, a medevac tech appears behind Lennox from a mobile infirmary area. He shakes his head gravely. Lennox pushes past him to find Fig laying there ragged, near death. Hey, amigo. Not gonna get that perfect day, am I, Sarge? You kidding? We're almost there, man. Just breathe easy. I'll tell you the plan. This time next week, you'll be kicking your board over turquoise waters. 6-foot glassy point, no one out but you. Fig's breathing slows. His face starts to relax. Light offshore breeze. Long neck waiting in a cooler, ice cold. Here comes that wave. It sweeps you up. You ride the tube all the way down the coast, right into the sunset, bro. And there it is, your perfect day. Fig is smiling. That's how he dies. Lennox's face turns cold with anger, galvanized by his friend's death. The Autobots race through suburban streets, Optimus in the lead. They turn onto Sam's block. Ron and Judy sit in the living room, Mojo on Judy's lap. Ron scans news channels with a remote. All stations are playing someone's home footage of the comets blasting across the sky. Police stations are inundated with calls reporting unidentified lights in the sky. We just picked up this eyewitness video. It's a shaky cam footage the kid took when the comet landed. Ron and Jody watch, rapt. Mojo perks up, sensing something. The Autobots roll up. Sam and Michaela hop out of the Camaro. Stay with him. I'll be right back. Then, to the Autobots. Stay. Stay here. Stay. Sam creeps towards the black screen door. It suddenly opens. He finds himself face to face with his dad. Mojo barks like mad at Ron's feet, pawing at the screen to get out. Sam smiles, edgy. Hi, Dad. I was just going to do your chores. A noise. Sam's vantage allows him to see what his father doesn't. The robots stepping over the fence into the backyard. Sam whirls with nervous laughter. Right, trash cans, I got it. Don't strain yourself, no. Ron opens the door, bangs it closed, but Mojo still escapes. No, I got it. Seriously, my bad. Dad retreats back into the house, shaking his head. Sam rushes into the backyard just in time to see Optimus's foot crush the patio furniture and turn Ron's path into dust. No, watch the path! Mojo barks, leaping around Ironhide's feet. Ironhide looks down and flicks the tiny dog with his foot. Whoa! That's my dog, Mojo! Off the robot! Michaela pushes through the back gate, harried. I told you to watch him! I think they're kind of in a rush. Ironhide scanning Mojo. Is that a rodent? No, it's my mom's chihuahua. Mojo lifts a leg and pees on Ironhide's foot. Mojo, no! Sorry, he's got this male dominance thing. Sam enters quickly and rummages for the glasses. Behind him, Optimus's hand rises up to the window with Michaela in his palm. Optimus slips her through the window. She lands with a thud. You must help him look. They really want those glasses. For Sam, Michaela is the only woman to ever step into his room beside his mom. There's underwear and dirty clothes scattered. It's a total mess. Sam snatches them up, embarrassed. Underwear. He tosses them into the closet and turns. Yeah, this is my room. It's nice. Your whole house is really big. He rummages for his backpack and his face darkens. It's not here. What do you mean? My backpack has the glasses. It isn't here. On a TV, a frightened witness next to one of the comet sites. That's what we saw, the lights, man. I don't know, UFOs, but for real. Ron peers out the window into the sky, fear growing. Sam keeps rummaging. He turns to the window to find Optimus's face, huge, staring back at him through the window. Have you found them? Shh, I don't know where my backpack is. The other Autobots close in around Optimus, staring at Sam. You must continue searching. Hey, my mom's flowers, watch it! Optimus looks down. The rose bed is crushed beneath his feet. I'm sorry, but we must have the glasses. Look, will you just get out of here? If my parents see you, they're gonna freak. Go and hide. Autobots, fall back. And be quiet. Keep it down. One by one, they retreat into a copse of trees. Jazz backs towards a string of power lines. The top of his head brushes against one, and sparks across his skull. Ugh! Jazz slams to the ground, convulsing, crashing through a fence and right on top of a tool shed. Trash cans go spilling. A lot of noise and racket. Sam rubs his face, beside himself. The thud rocks the house. Ron snaps to his feet in a panic. Earthquake! Under the table! It's just a tremor. Jazz picks himself up, bug-eyed, and shakes his head like a dazed dog. He says to the other Autobots, Do not touch these. The junction box on the pole sparks and blows out. Every light on the block shorts out. Sam spins in the now dark attic. He turns back to the window, only to find Optimus has transformed into truck form, right there on the backyard lawn. What is it with you guys? That's not hiding. You're gonna get me in so much. He trips mid-sentence, falling on top of Michaela. As Ron pops off a flashlight, they hear another thud upstairs. Sam, is that you? No response. They look at each other in growing fear. Ron moves off. Stay here. No, I'm scared. Stay here. Judy grabs a baseball bat and they head towards the stairs. As Sam and Michaela pick themselves up off the floor, Optimus rises to the window. His eyes shoot two brilliant beams that light up the attic, like an atomic flash. Turn it off! Turn it off! Coming up the stairs, Ron and Judy hear Sam's voice and see the incredible light under the door. Mojo is scratching at it wildly. Sam, are you in there? Shit. Yeah, Dad, it's me. He spins to Optimus. Turn it off! Outside Sam's door, Ron and Judy stop, hearing voices. What are you doing in there? Are you all right? Yeah, no, I'm good. Really good. Hide! Ron tries the handle. Why is the door locked? I'm real good. Sam, open the door. I'll be right with you. Get out of here. But you must find the glasses. Open the door now. A beat. Sound of fumbling. Then the door opens, and Sam is standing there, squinting against Ron's flashlight. The light beams are gone, as is Optimus. Hey, what's up? Who are you talking to? I'm talking to you. Sam is standing by the window, as if blocking it. Ron tries to look over Sam's shoulder, suspiciously. We heard noises. We thought... Doesn't matter what we thought. What was that light? He moves to the window. He tries to look out, but Sam blocks him, desperately trying to not look nervous. He speaks loud enough for the Autobots to hear outside. Light? What light, Dad? There wasn't any light. Why are you looking outside? You don't trust your son? As Ron looks out the window, we see what his point of view doesn't. The robots hide, pressing themselves against the side of the house. It shudders from the impact. Pictures tilt and books fall. Aftershock! Under the door! Under the door! With the robots, as they hide from view, Ironhide whispers, Why are we hiding? Be quiet. But why are we hiding? The boys' spawners will become alarmed. Ironhide's arm transforms into a missile turret aiming at the attic window. I can neutralize them. We do not harm humans. They will feel no pain. Back to Judy, as she pushes him aside and moves to the window. Sam, you were talking to somebody. I want to know who. Yeah, just me. Michaela emerges from the dark, surprising Ron and Judy. Hi, I'm Michaela. Oh! Judy, catching on, smiles. Oh, Sammy. Sorry to scare you. Scare us? No, we just, sorry we barged in. She whispers to Sam. She's very pretty. Mom, she can hear you. Oh, sorry. By the way, you guys see my backpack? You left it on the kitchen table. The lights flicker back on. Great! Well, see ya. He pushes past them, Michaela following. Nice to meet you. Sam finds his backpack on the table. He unzips it urgently and pulls out the glasses case. The doorbell rings. Ron answers. The door opens to reveal a group of men in suits, waiting like pit bulls. Some have spread out around the front yard and are using Geiger counters and strange devices to take readings. The unit leader, a skinny old bird named Agent Simmons, says, Ronald Wickety? It's Wit-Wiki. And who are you? Simons flashes a badge with a strange insignia. I'm with the government. Sector 7? Never heard of it. Never will. Your son is the great-grandson of Captain Archibald Wickety, is he not? It's Witwicky. What the hell is this? He filed a stolen car report last night. We have reason to believe it's involved in a national security matter. National security? What? Judy, still holding the baseball bat, notices the agents plowing through her flowers. The Geiger counters go insane as they pass over the crushed roses. We got massive readings. Get a sample. The agents rip the roses from the ground. Mojo comes running out, barking. Hey, get out of my garden! To the agents. Ma'am, drop the bat. Are you experiencing any flu-like symptoms? Aching joints? Fever? How are your bowel movements? What? Nausea? Swollen glands? Could someone please just... She recoils as an agent swings a radiation wand across her nose. She's clean. Simmons to Sam. You need to come with us. Sam, frightened. Dad? Ron blocks his son defensively. This is way out of line. Back off, sir. You're not taking my son. I'm calling the police. There's something fishy about this. Sir, there is something fishy about you, your son, your little Taco Bell dog, and this whole operation in here. What operation? That's what we're going to find out. Simmons runs a Geiger counter over Mojo. 14 rads, bingo! He gestures to his men. One of them scoops up Mojo with a dog catcher's noose. Agents grab everyone and push them roughly into Suburbans. Sam and Michaela in one, his parents in another. Don't say anything, Sam. Not a word till we get a lawyer. The cars peel off, passing the Autobots, peering out from the trees. In the Pentagon, the place is a zoo. Crisis teams are fixated on the overhead screens, showing satellite feeds of naval ships gathering around the world. By all appearances, we are at the brink of war. Blue Force Tracker has Chinese and U.S. forces approaching 100 nautical miles of cruise missile range. Tell the battle group commander he is not to engage unless they're fired on first. Suddenly, a suited man approaches Keller, led in by Admiral Brigham. This man's name is Banachek. A titanium briefcase is cuffed to his wrist. Sir, Tom Banachek from the White House. He flashes his badge. I'm with Sector 7, Advanced Research Division. Never heard of it. I'm a little busy, Tom. We're a highly independent entity, sir. I'm here under direct orders from the President. He has instructed us to brief you. Now? On what? Suddenly, the meters on all machinery spike. One by one, all computers in the room start to go black. What is happening? I need a sit rep. Communications are out. I think the virus just activated. What's the extent of disruption? The extent is worldwide, sir. Satellite and landlines are all down. We have zero comms. Total network failure. Keller at a loss. Banachek indicates his briefcase urgently. Sir, you need to see what I have in here. Now. On the streets in Paris, confused people wrestle with their lifeless cell phones. In Japan, electronic billboards on the side of buildings flash with static. On an American news station, a reporter in the middle of the broadcast feed goes dead. Are we live? What's happening? The Sector 7 Suburbans streak through tranquility. Sam and Michaela are in the back, freaking the hell out. Up front, Agent Simmons says into a cell, This is Simmons. We got a code black. I need... His cell starts emitting no signal. You copy? Hello? Must be a patch. He hangs up and turns to Sam. So, Kimosabe, last night at the station you told the officer your car transformed. Enlighten me. I need every word. The SUV slows, stopped at a light. The other vehicles make it through and drive on. Sam slips a hand into his pocket, protectively clutching the glasses case. Listen, this is such a big misunderstanding. When I said it transformed, I meant it went from being my car to being a stolen car. But everything's fine now, it came back. Michaela, covering. Not by itself, obviously. Cars don't do that. That would be crazy. So, what do you kids know about aliens? Aliens? I don't believe in, yeah, it's total crap. But your great-grandfather believed in them, didn't he? Oh, him? Yeah, he was, nuts. He twirls a finger near his brain, the sign for crazy. That's interesting, very interesting. Tell you what else I find interesting. Your body language, pupil dilation, the flushness of your skin. Because they're both showing me you are lying. He opens his badge. See this? It's called a do whatever I want and get away with it card. I'm gonna lock you away forever. Erase you like you never existed. And that'll be like a fluffy pink ice cream cone compared to what I'll do to your parents. Don't listen to him, Sam. We're getting a lawyer. Hey, you and your training bra. Don't test me, especially not with your juvenile record. Sam, confused. What? What record? Nothing. Grand Theft Auto ain't nothing. The light changes and the SUV starts driving again. Michaela stares at Simmons, hating him for exposing her so callously. You know those cars my dad taught me how to fix? They weren't always his. Your dad taught you how to steal cars? I didn't steal them. I just wouldn't testify against him, so they made me an accessory. Wow, you must be totally screwed up. Ah, thanks. How would you like it if I said you must be a total runt for not making the football team? Simmons. Pay attention. A record like yours could land you in jail, get you kicked out of school, no colleges will take you, no future. So pucker up and kiss your life goodbye, missy. Leave her alone. I'll tell you, but you're not going to believe it. Give it a whirl, kiddo. I'm all ears. Suddenly, out of the windshield, we see a massive steel foot. It slams down on the hood, crushing it into the pavement. The SUV spins to a violent stop. The agent's Geiger counters go insane as blinding lights flood the car. Something enormous is walking around it. Giant fingers crash through the window, lifting the SUV off the road. The roof is peeled away like a sardine can top, revealing the Autobots. Optimus reaches in and scoops Sam and Michaela from the back seat, plants them on the ground. The topless SUV bounces back to Earth as Optimus drops it. Oh wow, now you a-holes are in for some serious trouble. The agents draw their weapons, but Jazz raises his hands. Their guns and handcuffs fly magnetically into his palm. Gentlemen, let me introduce you to my friend, Optimus Prime. Out of the vehicle. The agents tumble from the car. Optimus leans down. The agents recoil as the robot's massive head comes into their faces, eyes scanning them. Your nervous system does not register significant shock. You are not surprised by our existence. Look, there are protocols, okay? I'm not authorized to communicate with you, except to tell you that I can't communicate with you. Bumblebee's oil filter on its crotch pops off, and a stream of hot oil sprays all over the agents. Hey, get it to stop! What is Sector 7? How do you know about the robots? Where'd you take my parents? Wouldn't you like to know? Jazz drops the cuffs in front of Michaela. Lock him up. Michaela picks up the cuffs. Dazed, but starting to love this. Take off your pants. What for? For calling me a thief. Simmons glares, dripping with oil. They drop their pants. One of them in boxers. Simmons in a Speedo. His legs pale and hairy. Wow. Pasty. Vitamin D, sunlight, look into it. Michaela tosses Simmons' cuffs. Cuff yourselves to the pole. Oh, and for the record, it's not a training bra. I'm in the 5th stage of puberty. Thank you very much. You're gonna regret this in a big way. She laughs. Man, if Trent could see me now. Sam, stunned, turns to her. Excuse me? Did you say Trent? We literally discovered an alien race and you still care what he thinks about you? What are you, my therapist all of a sudden? Wait a minute. I'm having a vision. You're gonna probably save the world and go back to school on Monday. Nothing's gonna change. I'll still be the invisible guy with gummy worms in his hair. You'll go back to being shallow. She furiously punches a finger into his chest. Hey, I gave up my whole future because I wouldn't turn my dad in. When have you had to sacrifice anything in your perfect little life? That lands on Sam. Before he can apologize, the air shatters as Sector 7 choppers crest the hillside. More Suburbans screech, turning the street into a disco of whirling lights. The Autobots are surrounded. The chopper's xenon spotlight rakes across his massive form. Without breaking stride, he lifts the kids onto his shoulder. Hold on! Combining their efforts, Jazz, Bumblebee, Ratchet, and Ironhide emit a pulse blast that flattens the tires on all the Suburbans. Optimus charges, his feet smashing 4 Suburbans into oblivion. The kids are holding on for dear life. Apache number 1 rises as an agent uses bolt cutters to free Simmons, who slips all over the oil. He signals to the second Apache and runs towards it, throwing his pants back on mid-stride. Optimus runs, the first Apache skimming the street, gaining. Optimus deploys a smokescreen cloud. He disappears down an alley. The chopper rips through it only to find him gone. The chopper keeps flying towards a bridge. The helicopter dips beneath it, blades spinning, and we reveal Optimus hidden under the bridge, limbs pressed against its trestles. Sam and Michaela cling on for dear life. But the rotor wash sucks her down. Sam's hand lashes out, catching her. Through gritted teeth, he holds on with all his might. Don't let me go! I can't hold on! Bumblebee, racing down the concrete incline, sees them as another chopper passes beneath the bridge, blades whirling, mere inches from the kids' legs. The wind finally dislodges their grip, and they fall, screaming. Optimus swings out a long leg trying to catch them, but all it does is break their fall. Still, they plummet to certain death. Bumblebee spins 360, transforms into robot form, and dives, catching Sam and Michaela just before they hit the ground. The glasses case tumbles from Sam's pocket onto the roadside. Bumblebee sets the kids down. Now the choppers circle, firing steel mesh nets. One loops Bumblebee's arm, another catches his legs, like roping an elephant. Bumblebee is yanked off his feet and dragged across the asphalt. Sam screaming, pleading, "Stop it! You're hurting him!" Sam charges for his downed companion, but Simmons and a few men in tack uniforms jump from Suburbans, grabbing the kids. Bumblebee sees Sam and Michaela being taken and goes berserk, straining to be free. It's hopeless and heartbreaking. Commandos zip-line down from a chopper, wearing backpack canisters filled with liquid nitrogen. They spray Bumblebee with a hissing cloud of ultra cold. He topples forward to his knees, his limbs hardening. "No, leave him alone! He's not gonna hurt anybody!" Frantically, Jazz, Ratchet, and Ironhide peel in above the bridge. They transform. Jazz crawls over the side of the bridge, hanging upside down so that he's face to face with Optimus. "We have to help him!" Negative. We cannot engage without harming the humans. Sam is pushed violently into the Suburban with Michaela. The doors slam, and the vehicles screech away as the Apaches lift Bumblebee into the air, like some great netted dragon, a stunning image. "They're taking him!" "Stand down, that's an order!" The choppers streak off. Optimus drops from below the bridge. He picks up the glasses case from the side of the road. He opens it and reveals the glasses. His look hardens, full of guilt. In a private room, Barricade unlocks the briefcase cuffed to his wrist. It's a laptop terminal. Keller watches, anticipatory. Sector 7 was convened in secret under President Hoover over 80 years ago, for one reason and one reason alone. Aliens are real. 2003, you may remember NASA lost contact with the Beagle 2 Mars rover. We told them to report the mission a complete failure. He taps keys. We are close on the monitor. A pixelated video feed, blurry, in 5-frame segments. We see Martian rocks. The lens pans and finds a massive steel foot walking toward the rover. It steps on the lens, crushing it. Static. More than just a pile of Martian rocks. Now here are the images your Rangers were able to retrieve from the base attack. He taps keys as the thermal shape of vortex resolves on the laptop. Keller stares in shock. We think it's the same one, and obviously not Chinese. Are we talking about an invasion? Something is coming, and I'll bet my negligible government salary we're running out of time. In an interrogation room, Maggie and Glenn look up as Sector 7 agents enter. "Oh God, don't put me in jail! Please, can we call my grandma?" As they are uncuffed, Keller appears at the door. "What is this? What is—" "You were right, Maggie. You were right all along." As Maggie stares at him, heart pounding. Our soldiers emerge from the back of the C-17. The medtechs carry Fig's body out on a stretcher, covered by a sheet. Lennox watches darkly. Suddenly, Suburbans screech in. Sector 7 agents leap out and flash badges. "Gentlemen, come with us. We'll explain on the way." Where Bumblebee and Brawl had their big fight, we drift through the deserted wreckage to find Brawl unmoving. His eyes suddenly flicker to life. Soundwave's head is nearby on the ground. The severed body. Brawl approaches, picks them up, puts them back together. Nanometal refusing. Soundwave leaps up. Now the Decepticons speak in a sonic burst of percussive language, the alien tongue of Transformers. The virus has executed its program. Global communications are offline. It's time to summon the others. Soundwave opens his mouth, emitting the eerie frequency shriek. We see a series of shots as the shriek animates Decepticons in hiding. We track fast down a row of F-22 Raptors, the latest military jets. We stop on one. In the cockpit, electricity arcs, generating a mustache man hologram in a pilot's outfit. Meet Starscream. Thrusters fire up. The Raptor lifts into the sky Harrier style, turns a 180, and crashes into the lens. Next, an M1 Abrams tank. Its engine revs to life. Devastator. The tank rolls out. We see rows of heavy artillery machines. We come to a mine-clearing vehicle. Bone Crusher. 6-wheeled, steel mandibles protrude from its front. It's like a steel saber-toothed tiger. It roars to life, crashes through a fence, and races into the night. The whir of rotor blades. It's an MH-53 Special Ops chopper. From the base attack, it's Vortex. It banks hard and roars off. Light beams shoot from Optimus's eyes through the lenses of Captain Witwicky's glasses, projecting the alien code. The code converts into a hologram of Earth that hovers mid-air, pinpointing the cube's location. A water mass enhances. The cube is 250 miles from our position. He turns to the other Autobots. Morale is low. We let them take Bumblebee. We are not like the Decepticons. Our mission parameters are never to harm humans. And if the humans harm him, Bumblebee knows the risks of our war. He would want us to complete our mission. Prime, if we face Megatron, can you bring yourself to destroy your own brother? I will do what I must. Autobots, roll out. Pounding music, the Autobots streak down the desert road. Optimus pulls ahead. The sun rises above the desert. We soar over a massive concrete basin, a reservoir of water held within it. 3 Army Black Hawk choppers land. The legend says Hoover Dam, Nevada. Emerging from the first helicopter, Lennox and his soldiers. The second, Keller, Maggie, Glenn, and Banachek. The third, Simmons and Michaela. Everyone crosses the top of the dam. Lennox and Keller shake. We got your intel, Captain. Excellent work. Thank you, sir. What about the gunships? Being retrofitted with Sabo rounds now, but it won't do much good if we can't get the comms back up. Nothing would warm my heart more than vaporizing some alien ass. Keller indicates Maggie Marconi, one of our analysts, and Glenn. Whitman, 2 N's at the end. As they approach an entrance, Sam and Michaela notice nearby tourists watching them with interest. For $5, Mom and kids get a family photo and a pretzel, standing on top of 100 football fields of concrete, never having a clue what's right underneath them. Bumblebee is clamped to a railroad car under heavy guard by Sector 7 commandos in militarized dune buggies. The men keep cryo-weapons aimed at Bumblebee. The rail car rolls onto a track leading into a large concrete tunnel. As Bumblebee disappears into the blackness, he makes low, guttural sounds. Fear. Sam and Michaela are ushered along by Simmons and his agents. They intersect with Banachek as they head toward the elevators. Get your hands off me. Don't touch me. Where's my car? Hey, kid. I think we got off to the wrong start. You must be hungry. You want a latte? Ho-ho? What do kids eat these days? Up yours, you Speedo-wearing freak. Where's my car? Son, listen to me carefully. People could die. We need to know everything that you know. Not till you promise me you won't hurt him. It's the only way I'll talk. You little extortionist. Passive scans only. Deal? And one more thing. He turns to Michaela. You gotta erase her juvie record. Like, forever. He glances at Simmons on that. He notices Michaela staring at him gratefully. A moment. Then, soldiers arrive. Ladies and gentlemen, follow me. Time is of the essence. Banachek leads everyone down the walkway by massive power generators. Ever heard of Area 51? Kids play. This is Area 52. Here's the situation. We're facing war against a technological civilization far superior to our own. You've all had direct contact with NBEs, which, like it or not, makes you the world's foremost experts on how to beat them. NBEs? Non-biological extraterrestrials. They're called Transformers. Guys in lab suits follow the group and scribble that urgently. They told you that? Yeah, we're tight. They turn into a long rock tunnel descending deeper. With communications down, you're our last line of defense. No more secrets. We need hard data. Information sharing, starting now. They arrive at a hangar. The massive door starts to swing open. In anticipation, our group walks into incredible light. Their expressions descend into a state of complete primitive shock. We are in an enormous silo. Multi-tiered gantries and girders crisscross liquid nitrogen tubes connected to a giant robot. Held in a kind of cryo-prison, its limbs encased in massive blocks of ice. We recognize it as the mechanoid from the beginning of the story, Megatron. Oh my god. I'll be a son of a bitch. We call him NBE-1, the first we found. No, dude, that's Megatron. Everyone turns. He's the leader of the Decepticons. Basically, head of the bad guys. Yeah, I kinda got that from the name. He's been in cryostasis nearly 100 years, since he was found by your great-grandfather, one of mankind's greatest discoveries. Sam stares, amazed. The fact is, you're looking at the creator of the modern age. The microchip, lasers, spaceflight, cars, all reverse-engineered by studying him. So basically, every time I microwave a burrito at Gas and Sip, it's 'cause of Megatron? You didn't think I might need to know you're keeping a hostile alien robot frozen in the basement? President's discretion, sir. Roosevelt never told Truman he had the atomic bomb. Until now, we had no credible threat to national security. So, what's the punchline? Yeah, why Earth? They're all looking for something called the Energon Cube. He wants it to transform all our technology and, pretty much take over the universe. A look between Banachek and Simmons. Sam realizes. You know where it is. The Energon Cube covered in our familiar alien glyphs. It emits a pulsing thrum that reverberates through another massive hangar. Umbilical tubes and hoses run from the cube to consoles, where biosuited technicians swarm. We pull back to reveal our people staring in awe from behind a glass observation deck. This is the room that monitors the cube. Temperature gauges, graphic readouts, cooling vents. Carbon dating puts it here around 10,000 BC. We didn't find it till 1920. President Hoover had the dam built around it, a perfect way to hide the cube's energy from being detected. We see Maggie thinking about the way he said, "What kind of energy?" A thick steel door opens, revealing a small metal-walled creepy lab circa the 1930s. Large electrical cables run to a small plexi box. Our people enter. Please step inside. They'll have to lock us in. Why do they have to lock us in? The door slams closed and the bolts lock. Kind of a tricky science. Could turn out to be a bad day. Michaela looks around. What are all these gashes? Indeed, there are gashes on the far wall, as if Freddy Krueger slashed it up. Simmons indicates the sign, "We have worked blank safe days." Someone has chalked in the number 322. Those happened 322 days ago. That was a bad day. To a nearby tech, solemn. Charlie was a good man. The tech nods back. Everyone's starting to look real worried. Banachek asks for Glenn's iPod. May I borrow that? Tentative, Glenn surrenders it, as mirrored welding goggles are distributed. The iPod is placed inside the plexi cage, locked. Goggles, please. Everyone slides on goggles as Banachek hits a console. The glowing energy flows into the cage from a tube connected to the cube. The iPod starts trembling. It turns on, blasting suicidal tendencies master of no mercy. And then it transforms, sprouting legs and arms, spastically slamming itself against the cage, trying violently to break out. Everyone leaps back in shock. Nasty little sucker, huh? Kinda like the Energizer Bunny from hell. Zap it already! Banachek hits a button, releasing a small cylindrical charge into the box. A mini Sabo round. When it connects with the iPod, a blinding flash. The iPod is ripped open, shrieking as it flips on its back, melting into liquid metal. Stunned silence. Everyone slides off their goggles. Simmons, impressed, grinning. Well, what do you know? Glenn bolts for the door. Okay, I'm out. The air distorts as Starscream, the F-22, bullets through the Nevada desert sky. Vortex rises into frame, rotors whirling. It banks hard and follows Starscream. Speeding along the highway below, Brawl, the police car, and Devastator, the tank, Bone Crusher, the mine-clearing vehicle. Starscream crests a mountain, revealing in the distance the Hoover Dam. Maggie, feeling the rising tide of dread, moves to a wall of monitors. Various angles of the cube. A close angle displays strange alien glyphs covering it. Those markings, what are they? Some kind of symbolic language, identical to a transmission we pulled off Megatron's data log. Yeah, it's a map to the cube. Oh God, that's gotta be what they hacked off Air Force One. Michaela goes ghost white. They know it's here. Starscream swoops in like a dragon, blasting the row of power generators. Then the room trembles. Lights explode. Emergency power kicks in. Lennox snaps into action. Where's your armory? As the dam begins trembling, the cryo blocks containing Megatron begin to crack. Slam into an armory opening. The soldiers unload high-tech rocket launchers with optical sensors, portable sabot rounds. Everyone spins options. Nellis is 50 miles away. They can have air support here in 10 minutes. Satellites and hardlines are still out. Wait a second. You gotta take me to my car. He's the only one that can get the cube out of here. What are you, nuts? We don't know what'll happen if we let it near this thing. You are like the stupidest man on the planet right now. If the kid's wrong, we're dead anyway. Hello, he's a delinquent. You expect us to believe Lennox slams Simmons to a wall. Sector 7 commandos draw guns. So do Lennox's guys. It's a Mexican standoff. I got a baby I've never even seen. Now I promised my wife I would come home, so take the kid to his damn car. Tension pulses, and Keller says to Banachek, I would do what he says. Losing is really not an option for him. With an electronic whir in Megatron's eyes, his microchip mind starts to wake up. The irises widen, like black holes expanding. Above Bumblebee on the slab, an overhead hatch opens. Bumblebee moans in fear. Stand clear. Everyone backs away as Bumblebee is bombarded by blinding UV light and sterilizing chemical clouds. Deafening noise, dangerous and threatening. Then the door bursts open and everyone rushes in. Stop! You gotta let him out! Banachek to the scientists. It's okay. Release it. He is not an it. Bumblebee's binds unlock. He rises and Sam races over. Are you okay? The robot looks down at Sam. He pats his head like a pet. The cube is here. The Decepticons are coming. Alert now. Bumblebee runs and everyone follows. Vortex roars over the Hoover Dam. Guided missiles jump off the chopper's rocket pods. Kaboom! The water basin explodes. Debris cracks off of the walls as Bumblebee runs through the hangar where Megatron is kept, with our heroes. Maggie notices a computer room down the hall and gets an idea. Glenn, can you hotwire that equipment to transmit Morse code? I don't know, yeah, why? The military guard frequency. It's a shortwave channel. We could use it to call for air support. Alright, yeah, you get our birds in the air. When we get wherever we're going, we'll find a radio and vector them in. How the hell are you going to do that? Improvise. Do it. Go. Keller, Maggie, Glenn, and Simmons separate. Lennox and his team move everyone out of the hangar into the tunnel as water showers in from ever-growing fissures in the wall, melting Megatron's cryo ice. It cracks off in thick chunks. The first of his limbs snaps loose, and then another, and then another. The connected tubes rip and uncoil, spraying cryospray. Megatron breaks free. He transforms into the wicked black hypersonic alien jet. It looks demonic as it blasts through the massive tunnel, jet wash scorching lens. Bumblebee, the kids, Lennox, and his soldiers run in. Lennox sees a motor pool of artillery buggies. Lennox, whatever you're gonna do, big guy, do it fast. Bumblebee kneels in front of the cube. Responsively, its energy hum mutates into electric bursts. Tendrils of energy are between Bumblebee's hands and the cubes. They are communicating in a language beyond our comprehension. The cube transforms, folding in on itself. A pattern of geometric shapes unlocking, like a child's click toy, shrinking smaller and smaller until it's football-sized. As Bumblebee transforms into Camaro form, his back door opens and the cube flies into the back seat. Seat belts flash across it, securing the cube. Sam and Michaela hop in front of the Camaro, which peels out. The soldiers follow behind, in artillery buggies. Megatron bullets from a tunnel, emerging outside. He rips past camera toward the top of the dam. Megatron transforms back into robotic form, lands next to Starscream, who is perched like an eagle. They speak in their alien language. Lord Megatron. Starscream. We are ready to transform the machines. But Megatron snaps over alert. His point of view zooms across the dam spillway to a lower road where Bumblebee and the artillery buggies are racing away. X-rays reveal the cube hidden in the Camaro's back seat. Sam and Michaela. She turns from the front seat to the cube strapped in the back. Is the cube okay? Yeah, it's wearing its seatbelt. They look at each other oddly. Wow, we just sounded like parents. The Autobots arrive, joining Bumblebee and the artillery buggies. Ratchet pulls alongside the Camaro, Jazz flanking the rear. Optimus and Ironhide fall back as the Decepticons close in. Brawl's police lights flash, paving a way through traffic. Bone Crusher's 10-foot mandibles scoop up cars and flip them aside. At 100 miles per hour, Bone Crusher transforms, steel foot slamming down on the highway, ripping up asphalt. He leaps at Optimus, who transforms too. The robots collide, plummet off the freeway overpass, crashing to a level below. A mother driving a carpool of kids skids as Optimus shoots Bone Crusher, who falls into a cement river basin. Crash. Now Brawl leaps down, joining the fight, 2-on-1. In a slick acrobatic move, Optimus flips, launching Brawl backward into Bone Crusher. The Decepticons crash hard into a cement freeway pillar as the chase enters a city. Bumblebee, Ironhide, Ratchet, and Jazz screech onto a street lined with tall buildings. The soldiers arrive. Lennox sees a pawn shop. He gets an idea. Give me a sec to find a radio. What if they didn't call in the strike? We're all going to be robot Happy Meals. He bolts for the shop. Maggie, Keller, and Simmons roll soldering equipment across the floor. She sparks up a heat nozzle, and Glenn goes to work on a terminal. I'm feeling like real anxious, Mags. I might throw up on you. That's totally understandable. Something slams at the steel door from outside with incredible ferocity. They freeze. Glenn burns himself with the soldering gun. What the hell is that? Doesn't sound good, whatever it is. I'm really gonna barf. Help me with the door. They frantically push a cabinet against the double doors as something keeps slamming it. The door starts to buckle. Soundwave's skinny head wedges through, hideous mouth grinning. 3 silver discs fly from the robot's chest like saw blades. Get down! Keller tackles Maggie as the 2 discs embed in the wall. The third flies inches over Glenn's keyboard, nicking his hand and smashing into the computer beside him. What is that freaking thing? Maggie opens the latching lever on a weapons box. Inside is a 12-gauge shotgun. She grabs shells. As Glenn works feverishly, a flash of static sounds on his terminal. I got it! We're transmitting! Send exactly what I say. Nellis Air Force Base, this is Secretary of Defense Keller. Confirm authorization code Blackbird 11. 95 Alpha, please respond. Halfway through, Glenn joins in on the password. Keller turns to Glenn and it registers. How did you know my ID? Look, I told you I got this hacking problem. I know your codes, the president's. I even know Paris Hilton's cell number. Just type the message. Okay. He's about to send, and he pauses. I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember Morse. Oh God, me neither. You gotta be kidding me. Well, you don't learn it in the Navy? Well, yeah, 30 years ago. Wait a minute. How's that song go? The one that make you learn for the NSA field test? Insanely, Maggie starts singing the song to remember the code as she loads shells in the shotgun, more slamming on the door. A dit is a dot is a dash, alpha dit. Yeah, bravo, dot dit. It's all coming back. Great, sing faster. Glenn types the code as Soundwave keeps slamming. Lennox bangs on the pawnshop's gated door. The owner, Big Rhonda, appears. Hey, don't be banging on my door. Ma'am, we got a serious emergency. Do you have a shortwave radio? No, but I got a CB. You paying cash? It's a national security issue. Open the door. Don't you be taking that tone with me. I know my rights. Lennox pulls his gun. Ma'am, let me in or I'll have to shoot this lock. From under her counter, she grabs a shotgun and levels it. Go ahead, and I'll have to be shooting at you. Okay, look, you can have my watch. It's Air Force issue. Tells perfect time by the atomic clock in Geneva. You can even scuba dive down to 30 meters. Do I look like I'm gonna scuba dive to you? Lady, for the love of God, take the watch. As Maggie, shotgun still in hand, Keller and Simmons strain against Soundwave's slams to keep the cabinet wedged against the door, Glenn receives a Morse code response. They're responding! They accepted your authorization code! Call in the strike. The double doors finally buckle enough for Soundwave to jump through and fire more discs. Maggie jukes as a disc cuts right through her shotgun barrel, turning it into a sawed-off shotgun. She pumps the muzzle and blam! The robot is flung backward, emitting a demented squeal. Send the message quick! Glenn typing furiously. The killer robot's really distracting! Maggie fires again. Soundwave leaps up and disappears into a vent. They hear him moving through overhead ducts. Then, crash, he drops back into the room, sending Keller and Simmons tumbling behind computer consoles. Maggie screams like seeing a rat and fires. Click. She's empty. She uses the rifle butt to smash Soundwave in the head. The robot springs, its steel pincer fingers close around Maggie's throat. She manages to grab a computer keyboard and whacks it away. Soundwave shoots more discs. They boomerang around the room. Back to Maggie, who ducks, and something terrific happens. The discs decapitate Soundwave's head. Again, he crumples. Maggie catching her breath. Did you get the message out? Glenn slumps at the console, exhausted. He nods, yes. Lennox runs from the pawnshop back to his team. Inserting a battery pack into a portable CB radio, he shouts into the mic. CQ, WR2 GFO, come back, do you copy? The only response is static. Then, the screaming approach of an F-22 turns everyone around. Oh baby, the Air Force has arrived. One of the soldiers sends up a flare. It streaks past the jet, which circles back around, and everyone cheers. CQ, WR2 GFO, we are 5 clicks south of the tallest building. We see you. You're headed to our position, over. Still static. But the jet keeps coming. Something is clearly wrong. The Autobots transform and assume defensive stances. Ironhide, now alert. Jazz, Bumblebee, flanking positions. Jazz takes off as the jet drops between buildings towards them, streaking low and shockingly fires missiles at our heroes. The F-22 is Starscream. Everyone scatters as Bumblebee and Ironhide lift up an old truck and flip it over to shield the humans. A guy on a motorcycle goes skidding as the missile skims the road, ripping the old truck in half. Bumblebee is catapulted backwards. His legs are sheared as he tumbles, grinding a hideous squeal of metal on cement. The Energon cube is cut loose from Bumblebee's back seat. It bounces over asphalt, a shockwave emitting from its center. Air ripples as the wave spreads over a one-block range. A tricked-out dub car coming around the corner gets hit. 2 wannabe white rappers tumble from it, as if every electronic device in the car is transforming into tiny Tasmanian devils. Oblivious shoppers in a Target superstore. The Energon blast shatters windows as it hits the store, engulfing everything. An employee carrying an Xbox 360 screams as metal arms burst from the box. Plasma TVs rip from the wall, coming alive. People are running, screaming. From the debris, Sam is the first to his feet. He helps a dazed Michaela up. What they see is a disaster. Under jetting water from a broken fire hydrant, Bumblebee's torso trails twisted metal. His legs have been severed off. Bumblebee! Oh God! He runs to one of Bumblebee's legs on the ground and drags it over. Michaela helps. The arm starts fusing itself back to Bumblebee's body, nanocells regenerating. Help! Bumblebee, brave warrior that he is, struggles and scratches to pull himself over to the cube. The soldiers spread out. Lennox pulls the CB out from the debris and shouts, "This is Sergeant William Lennox. We're under heavy fire. Does anyone copy?" There's a long pause, then a pilot's voice, almost unintelligible, with interference, comes over the radio. "Yes, Army Blackhawk, inbound to your... copy." "Say again, over." "Lay down, your coordinates." "We are Alpha, 273 degrees, 10 miles, November, Victor, 123, 3427, NA, 1.2, click north." "Copy that, ETA 2 minutes. Things get worse. Vortex, the assault chopper, transforms 2 blocks away, perches on top of a building. The ground starts to tremble like an earthquake. Slowly, everyone turns to see Devastator, the tank, rolling around the corner. It flattens 2 cars. Sam and Michaela stare, transfixed with terror. 2 armed Sector 7 vehicles charge, firing sabos. The tank fires back pulse blasts. The vehicles explode and flip into oblivion. Now behind Devastator comes Bone Crusher. Lennox and the kids are trapped from both ends. The commandos form a tight group around the kids as the tank transforms, rising on 2 legs. Its cannon turret pivots towards them. This is it. But no, Jazz skids in, transforms, and leaps onto Devastator, wrenching back the Decepticon's arm just as it fires. Jazz spin kicks the robot into a building. Ratchet plunges in, transforming. Now Ironhide arrives beside Jazz and they form a triple threat, sledgehammering Bone Crusher. They're helped by Lennox, who pumps the slide on his launcher, fires at Bone Crusher. So do his soldiers. The sabos punch deep into Bone Crusher's steel flesh and explode at 6,000 degrees, ripping him open from within. Bone Crusher goes berserk, melting into a mass of twisted wreckage, as Jazz suddenly gets hit point blank by a massive pulse blast by Megatron. Through his evil eyes we see Jazz on the ground, wounded in agony. Biological cross-sections. The weak point is identified in Jazz's chest, his spark. Megatron plunges his hand into Jazz's chest, ripping out the spark, and then cruelly tears Jazz in half. No! Ironhide leaps at Megatron, who easily swats him aside. Optimus surges in behind our heroes, a juggernaut. Tearing through rows of fences, he transforms mid-stride and rises to robot form for an incredible hero shot. Megatron transforms into jet mode and throttles in for the kill. Optimus catches on to Megatron, going airborne with him. They hit the side of a building and plummet to the street. Cars smash into their legs, piling up. Major panic time. Megatron. Pathetic, speaking the language of insects. You still make allies of the weak. Where you see weakness, I see strength. So be it, brother. Our war begins again on Earth. The robots collide, and in all the chaos, Bumblebee urgently grabs Sam's hand. He upturns the boy's palm and places the cube in it, eyes pleading. No, I'm not going to leave you. Bumblebee opens his mouth and painfully manages to utter, Go, Sam. The thump-thump of rotor blades and Lennox looks skyward. Army Blackhawks blur past. The cavalry is starting to arrive. Lennox glances up at a building rooftop and gets an idea. Kid, here's a flare. Go to that roof and signal the chopper. We'll cover you. But what am I supposed to... Time to see what you're made of, soldier. Get the cube out of here, as far as you can, or a lot of people are gonna die. Sam and Michaela lock eyes. The moment of truth. No matter what happens, I'm glad I got in that car with you. Sam smiles, surprised she's more of a soulmate than he knew. Vortex slams down in front of him. Sam's face breathing hard, psyching himself up. Exactly like the football tryout flashback. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me. As the Decepticons charge, he runs, hauling ass like a running back with the cube, dodging between their legs, nearly getting squished. His size, his greatest advantage. The soldiers provide cover fire. Meanwhile, Optimus and Megatron do battle. Megatron's arms turn into 24 firing turrets, hurling Optimus a full city block. Sam races into an abandoned building with the cube. Once the city's crown jewel, it's now an abandoned, dilapidated mess. He bolts up main stairs as the building vibrates from concussions. As Sam leaps into the stairwell and retreats toward the roof, Megatron's head crashes through the floors below him. 5 massive fingers rise, reaching for Sam, swatting away the stairs beneath his feet. Sam leaps to safety as debris drops 15 stories below. Amid the chaos, Lennox barks into the CB. Army Blackhawks, request immediate evac for civilian boy with cargo, headed to rooftop of highest structure. Expedite, expedite! Meanwhile, Michaela and a few soldiers drag Bumblebee's other leg to him. It starts fusing itself back onto Bumblebee's body, nanocells regenerating. He tries to rise, but can't pull himself up. Michaela sees an abandoned tow truck parked across the street. She runs over, breaks the window, hops in. No keys. She smashes loose the ignition assembly. With expert fingers, she strips wires and tries sparking them together. Come on, come on! The wires spark, and the engine roars to life. She slams into reverse, tires squealing. Sam bursts onto the rooftop, weeping angel statues. He raises the flare gun and fires. It arrows up like a firework. Starscream is perched several rooftops away. He sees it. But an Army Blackhawk rises up in front of Sam. The rescue. On the skids, an Army Commando hangs down as low as he can. Grab my hand, kid! Sam steps out onto the ledge, wind from the chopper buffeting him. The street 50 stories below. Major vertigo time. Clutching the cube, Sam reaches for the commando, fingers almost touching. Starscream fires a missile, blowing the Blackhawk into sheet metal. Sam is knocked backwards and stunned. Flaming chopper parts rain down on him as he's knocked back. Lennox looks up as the roof explodes in an eruption of glass and fire. The helicopter plummets. No! No! Optimus pulls himself up from the rubble and sees it too. He locks eyes with Lennox. He's in trouble! Optimus starts scaling the building to the roof as fast as he can. Michaela finishes hooking the tow truck chains to Bumblebee's chassis. She hits a lever and the chains pull Bumblebee up. All he can do is sit upright. His legs are too damaged. And oh shit, here comes Devastator, damaged and wanting blood. The tank fires, rocketing Michaela off her feet. She peels herself up, dazed, catching sight of a car jack on the tow truck. She uses it to heft Bumblebee's arm up, pumping fast. I'll aim! You shoot! Devastator charges. The soldiers flank, trying to draw fire away from Michaela. Pulse blasts explode around them as Michaela guides Bumblebee's arm, aiming it as it transforms into a laser turret. Kablam! They return fire. Asphalt explodes just left of the tank. It keeps charging. Michaela aims. Kablam! Another blast detonates, missing the tank by inches. It grows huge, charging at them, seconds from mowing them down. Then, bullseye. The third blast catches it in the grill and it flips right over their heads, splintering into pieces. It's quiet for a moment. Michaela catches her breath and says to Bumblebee, "Nice shot." The roof around Sam is crumbled away. He's trapped on a small patch of cement when Megatron explodes through from below. "Give me the cube, boy! You aren't strong enough to defy me." But Sam clings valiantly to the cube. No! He backs toward the building's edge. Perilously close. "I see the fear in your eyes. I can end it, or you will die." Sam's face grows determined as his will hardens. This is his moment. Life or death, it all comes down to now. "I am never giving it to you." Megatron fires at Sam, blowing out the rooftop beneath him. It rips away, statues and all, as Sam tumbles out into the depths of empty space over the city, falling 40 stories to his death. Optimus, stretched between two buildings, reaches desperately for him as he plummets. Sam lands on Optimus's chest, a perfect catch. But now Optimus and Sam fall together, and to make matters worse, Megatron hurtles down from above like an eagle plunging for the kill. Optimus cups Sam protectively against his chest, his other arm transforming into a turret. He fires, spinning Megatron wildly off course. As they drop the remaining 20 stories, Optimus's hand rips through the building frame to slow their fall. And crash! The huge impact fills the screen with smoke and debris. Lennox looks up as a contingent of screaming military jets rockets in, flying over the city. Megatron lands nearby. The soldiers circle, using their launchers to laze Megatron's body, just as they did with Scorponoc. Into the CB radio. "The target is marked. Hit him!" As the smoke clears, his fingers slowly open, revealing Sam safely enclosed on Optimus's chest, still clutching the cube. He slides onto the ground, dazed. "You would give your own life to protect the cube?" Optimus and Sam lock eyes. Sam grins and offers the cube. In his father's own words, "No sacrifice, no victory." That lands with Optimus, but before he can take the cube, Vortex and Starscream swoop in, double-teaming Optimus, hammering him with pulse blasts as Megatron slams down near Sam. "It's mine! The cube is mine!" Vortex and Starscream concentrate firepower on Optimus to keep him down. It's brutal. But Lennox jumps onto a fallen motorcycle nearby and guns it through flaming wreckage as the Air Force jets scream low, launching Sabo rounds. Vortex's face is blown open. Lennox roars in full throttle, sliding the bike under the robot's legs and open-firing his launcher. The round tears into Vortex's chest, stomach, limbs. He shrieks and starts disintegrating. Optimus rises. Wallop! A roundhouse from his great hydraulic arm catches Starscream. Crash! He goes backward through the cars. The jets streak past Megatron unloading missiles, puncturing his flesh, but not enough to stop him as he charges at Sam. Optimus lies on his side, wounded, but never giving up. He swings his massive leg and Sam dives under it to safety as it whooshes over his head, kicking Megatron back. Megatron recovers and rises, and Optimus shouts, "Use the cube, Sam! Aim for his spark!" Megatron towers on all fours above the boy, about to crush him. "Do it now!" Seconds before Sam is killed, he slams the cube straight into Megatron's chest. A blinding flash, with a bellow, Megatron's spark explodes, tendrils of energy swirling. Lightning snaps out, leaping to surrounding machinery, all of Megatron's life force released in one quick burst. Starscream transforms, the last remaining Decepticon. He flees the planet, and then all is quiet. Emergency crews race in. Keller, in pain, is helped along the tarmac by Maggie and Glenn. Medics take hold of him, lead him towards an emergency vehicle. He stops and turns, salutes Maggie and Glenn. They salute back as Keller is driven away. "You were great, Glenn." "Thanks. I'm just curious. Are you fighting the urge to weep openly right now?" "Probably healthy." She slips her arm through his as they walk. "You know, I still owe you my platinum goblin armor. I don't think I need to see another computer for the rest of my life." Michaela and Bumblebee emerge through the smoke. The Autobot is damaged but alive, dragging one malfunctioning leg. As the jets streak overhead, Lennox and his soldiers clasp hands. Ratchet and Ironhide appear through the wreckage. In Ironhide's arms, Jazz's lifeless body. Gently he sets him down, and Optimus approaches. "But your planet, without the cube, you're the last of your kind." Optimus kneels by his fallen soldier. "We will survive. We must." He touches a hand to Jazz's chest, honoring him. "For those who did not." "Look!" They turn. She's standing at the edge of a giant crater. Everyone is gathered beside her, looking down into the crater where Megatron's body lies buried in rubble. Megatron's eyes dwindle and go out. "You left me no choice, brother." We hold on our heroes, humans and robots, together. A ringing school bell takes us to Tranquility High School. Monday morning. Kids fill the halls between classes. Among them we find Sam and Miles talking and laughing. Sam stops short when he sees Michaela up ahead, heading his way with her friends. Her look passes from Sam to Trent down the hall. Who will she choose? She starts walking. To Trent. Sam's heart falls until she passes him and keeps moving to Sam. He opens his mouth to say something, but her lips are on his for an incredible kiss right there in front of everyone. As we pull away, our score rises. Given the satellite blackout, knowledge of the alien presence was contained. We see Keller at a table, addressing Washington brass on a dais. "However, to maintain absolute secrecy, I recommend Sector 7 to be terminated. The specimen known as NBE-1 disposed of, over with a 50-kiloton device at the bottom of Laurentian Abyss. In the high seas, waves crash around the bow of an aircraft carrier. Keller and Maggie watch as tug pulleys drag Megatron's lifeless body across the flight deck. A bolt-studded nuclear device on his chest. Keller gives a nod and the device activates. The red detonation light blinks as the 50,000-ton behemoth is pushed over the side, crashing. Beneath the surface, Megatron sinks fast, sucked into the silent vortex. Disappearing into the darkness, we are left only with the blinking detonator light counting down and fading away. Optimus's voice returns to us. For now, the Decepticon legions are vanquished. Though we have sacrificed much, fate has yielded an unexpected reward, a new world to call home. On a city freeway, thousands of cars jammed bumper to bumper. Any one of them could be a transformer. We live among its people now, hiding in plain sight. In front of a rural farmhouse on the front porch, Ironhide pulls up, Lennox behind the wheel. He steps from the pickup. Their porch door opens, and his wife runs to him holding their baby. They hold each other tight. I have witnessed their capacity for courage, and much like us, there is more to them that meets the eye. Lennox takes his baby in his arms for the first time. The tiny infant stares up at him smiling. His perfect day. Particles billow across Optimus Prime's face in close-up. Snowflakes. He stares at a blinking transmitter on his arm, an antenna raised. I am Optimus Prime. I send this message to all surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. You are not alone. Optimus looks up at the sky. We are here, and we are waiting. Our music soars as we pull back to reveal he's standing at the top of a snow-capped Mount Everest overlooking the world. Optimus grows smaller on its peak, the sky behind him a fiery red as he stares upward, waiting for an answer from the stars. The end. Alright guys, just to let you know, if you made it all the way to the end, you are one of the 1% of people that do so. Definitely drop a comment below what you'd like to hear next because your opinion matters the most. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you know when I release your request. See you guys in the next movie reading.